Yo, 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 skirt bang! What is good, my guy?
What's up, Poppy-san?
I should have.
Now when I call you daddy, it's like you're actually a dad, so it's not as
My
sexual.
one aunt calls me daddy. Like, obviously, she's my aunt.
The same
Like,
one we were just. Oh wait, that was your cousin.
different. This is one that I talk to all the time.
Yeah.
She's great, but she's just like she's my aunt that owns a tree company. So like, all they do is like work on trees, work around the house, like fix things. Like they got a lot of stuff to do. They're pretty busy. So they're not like on social media and stuff. Definitely not like they don't know anything about daddy. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
she'll text me about like being excited and when she says like congratulations and stuff, like she calls me daddy, and I'm just like, that's funny, but it's weird, but it's funny.
So like it's funny because she doesn't know like the context of it.
Yeah.
That's what makes it funnier.
And
Oh,
obviously
dude.
she's not implying anything.
Right. I was gonna say earlier when I was like, "Oh, your other cousin." It would be weird if like the cousin you really never spoke to hit you up and was like, "Hey,
Hey,
daddy."
daddy.
No, I meant it because like you just had a kid and everything. No
Yeah.
connotation.
Okay. I know you spent some time living in West Virginia.
Don't rub that off on me.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
We might be from this redneck little hick town, and we might get made fun of by the other towns, but like we're not inbred over here. At least not in the Stillwell household.
Yeah, that was like the so my high school, I feel like we might have touched on this before on the podcast, but my high school was right across the street from a General Electric plant. And so anytime we would play like our neighboring towns or whatever, like their joke about us would be like, "Oh, they're all fucking special ed because they're just inhaling fumes all day." And then our joke to them would be like, "Well, at least we're not fucking our cousins because they were like out I mean, I was in the boonies, but they were in like the boonies, like living
Yeah.
in mountains and shit." That was
Not bad.
funny.
I wouldn't mind living in
Yeah.
mountains.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's so weird because growing up, I was like, damn, I want to be close, like, to everything in society. But like now that I have been for the past like 8 or 9 years of my life, I'm like, damn, I low-key miss living out in the middle of nowhere when I had privacy and toys, like dirt bikes and shit, and
Right?
could pretty much do whatever I want. Didn't have to worry about like closing my blinds before walking around the house naked because I'm not flashing myself to everyone in the neighborhood.
Dude, I just got up. So Lex and I laid down, and like, I usually sleep naked, but I just took my pants and stuff off, so I had a shirt on. We're in bed, and I was like, all right, kid's crying, let's get him a bottle. So I get up, and then I go to put like shorts on, and she's like, all the blinds are closed, like you don't have to, you can walk out there. This is her exact words. You can walk out there, dick swanging. I said, no, I understand, and normally I would, but when I come back in here with this bottle, I'm gonna have our son on my lap as I feed him, so I'd like to do that
With
with
clothes on.
something covering me, you know?
Oh, dude, that reminds me. There was this TikTok I saw the other day, and it was like, there's been this trend going around where it uses like the old Black Ops 2, like, uh, we've lost, we'll get them next time. You know how they always say that at the
Yeah.
end. There was this one. It was like me comparing sizes in the infantry or whatever it is, like called in the hospital, and it
The
was just like,
nursery.
yeah, the nursery. And it was just like, this one's a draw. We'll see you on the battlefield next time, or something like that. I was like, God damn, dude.
That's unreal. Casual.
Very casual. Maggie and I showed Maggie Andrew Schultz. You know Andrew Schultz?
Yeah.
I showed her his stand-up special that he dropped last year, where he's just like, remember how it like got banned off Netflix and all this for being just
Yeah.
super like dark humor. We watched it the other night, and she was dying, dude. I forgot how good it was. It's so dark, but it's so funny.
Maybe we'll have to watch it again.
Yeah,
I doubt Lex has ever seen it, but I'll watch it again.
yeah, and I didn't remember any of the jokes from it, so it was like
Yeah.
it felt new to me again. And
Yeah.
it was so good.
Lex and I started watching Turn. I forgot that how gory it was.
The movie?
And no, it's a TV show. It's so it's a TV show about spies, American spies during the American Revolution.
Oh, right.
Banger. I watched it back in the day, and I remember it being like really good. So I was like, and now I'm reading this book called The First Conspiracy, and it's all about basically like the plot to kill George Washington during the American Revolution, and like spies that were like close to Washington. He had like this group of guys that were like, the best soldiers that like stayed close to him. And then right now in the book, I'm at the point where like you understand that this one guy is gonna flip because of who he's been like seeing at the bar lately and who he's been talking to, but like that, we don't have any of the details or anything yet. I haven't gotten that far, and so I'm like, oh, dude, that makes me want to watch Turn because it's like the same shit, and
The
that show
same
was
shit.
really good. But
Dude,
it's not on
it's
Netflix. They moved it to AMC Plus.
I think that I remember seeing that, and like I either watched like one episode or it was my mom who told me about it. But I remember when you sent the Snapchat in the group the other day, I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
"Oh shit, I've heard good things about that
yeah,
show." But I was gonna say, dude, like being a spy back then before all this technology must have been like crazy, bro.
yeah.
Like there, you have no communication with anybody that's within 20 feet of you. Like you're
Right.
just on your own. Like you, so much trust is put into people back then, just because of like, it's not like you could check locations or all this shit. It's just, all right, go do this, and hopefully you don't fucking double cross or
Right. So episode 1 of Turn, this is what happens. You got Abe, and he lives in Setauket, Long Island.
Lincoln.
Nope, his last name's
Oh,
Woodhall. He's a cabbage farmer.
I thought it was like young Abe Lincoln. But
No.
I mean, now that I think
um,
about it, the American Civil War and the Revolutionary War, that doesn't make
pretty
sense because
far
they're like
off.
100 years apart. Yeah.
um, so you got Abe, and then you got Ben, who's a grew up with Abe, and he's now like an officer in the American Army. Then you got this other dude, Caleb, who also grew up with him, and he's also in the Army, but he's like real low key. Like he doesn't wear like he kind of is like freelancing. He has a lot of respect. So Abe's got to sell his cabbage, and he's gonna smuggle it to his boy Caleb. And when he does that, Caleb kind of like just talks to him a little bit. They say it's like his first interview. He doesn't know it yet, but it's like his first interview. And then so when he's leaving from like smuggling his shit and selling it to Caleb, he gets picked up by the American Army because they know he's there because like they pretty much set him up, right?
Right.
And then Ben goes and he's like, oh, like I set you free, blah blah. And that's like the second interview. It was like him like talking to Ben. And then when he goes back home, there's this other chick, Anna, and her and so Abe and Anna used to bang. They used to date back in the day, but they're not together anymore. But she owns like the tavern, and her husband got hanged, because he like got in a bar fight at his tavern. So he got
You get
hanged.
hanged for that?
Well, he got in a bar fight and he like cut like a British officer's hand. Well, what
Oh,
happened was the British officer like slipped and put his hand on the table and cut it open and then like lied and got him hanged for it. Or maybe he got sent away to like a prison in like Jersey or PA or something like that. But he's not around. They were gonna hang him, but I think they maybe didn't. I don't know. He's gone for now. So it's Anna running the show, and the way it works is like they have so Anna puts out a piece of black laundry on the line to dry when they need to say something, when they need to talk. So then like they'll see that, and then like Caleb and Abe somehow they'll like link up at their secret spot so they can pass information. Um, but then you see that the British, the way they do it is or the way they do it for this first instance is they have like a big like piece of like cardboard that's like the size of a piece of paper, and they cut squares into it. So then you write a letter. I'll write a letter to you. It'll be long, and then you'll put this piece of paper over it, and then you'll only see the words where it's cut out, and that'll be like the thing. So in this one, it's like Connecticut safe house, like a bunch of stuff about like a Connecticut safe house. So Abe gets his hands on that, and then puts has Anna put the black dress up, tells them, hey, they're gonna come. They know about the safe house in Connecticut, so you gotta get out of there. They're gonna come and like try to kill everybody. So then like the next day, all the British that are in Setauket, they go and they open fire on the safe house, and then they go in and nobody's in there. And then once they're all in there, all the American soldiers that were in that safe house are like surrounding it basically from above and just start shooting into it and lighting them up.
damn.
Yeah, and that's all in the first episode, and like it's pretty good.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna have to watch this shit because I
Yeah,
love like old school war type stuff.
I know
Um,
it's nice. It's pretty gory, and that's how this conversation started. It's like decently gory, and Lex was like, "We're gonna have to watch this during the day because this is like just as bad as Peaky Blinders, and that shit gave me nightmares."
dude, Lex is such a little scaredy cat.
She's like she just like doesn't like gore, and then the images stick in her head, and like subconsciously they always come back in her dreams. like clockwork, dude.
That's gotta be like when it is like clockwork too, because I feel like my dreams are just so random. Like I can't like influence what dreams I have like at all.
Yeah.
But like if you know, that's kind of nice. Like if you know, like if I watch this, I'm gonna have a scary dream. Like, cause dude,
Yep.
fucking nightmares are no joke, bro. I'd be waking up like when I have a bad nightmare, I'd be waking up like sweating, and like the realization of whatever I was just dreaming about is a dream is like the best feeling ever.
See, I usually know that it's a dream while I'm in it because I'm like, even when it's nightmares, they're still scary, but there's some point where I'm like, "Oh, this is a dream," but I'm still like, I can't die. I can't die in this dream because then I'll die in
Dude,
real life.
how
But
do you
that's still
do
my
that?
thought. I don't know. I don't know, but I just like I just know. I just know that it's a dream. Like I'm dreaming and I'm like, "Oh, this isn't real." I think it's because I don't see myself in my dreams. I'm not like first person view. I'm looking down on myself. It's a third person view.
What?
And I don't live my life in a third person shooter, bro.
Dude, what? Yeah, what? I've never heard of somebody who dreams in the third person like that. Dude, you're literally like
Really?
lucid dreaming every time you dream. That's like super rare, bro.
Yeah.
That's
I didn't know it
crazy.
was I didn't know I'm not sitting over here tooting my own horn like, yeah, like I'm so rare. I'm just like, yeah, like every time I dream it's in the third person and that's generally how I know like, oh, this is a dream. Like cuz I'm
Well,
watching
yeah, I
myself.
mean, it's the yeah, that's the indicator, bro. It's
Yeah.
like I'm not playing a game of Sims. Like that's me down there, and no, that's wild, dude. All my dreams are first person. I've had I wouldn't consider these dreams, but do you ever get like in between like asleep and awake, and you're like, you know, you're not fully dreaming, but you know you're not fully asleep, like awake either,
Yeah.
and
I
you're kind of
love
like
it.
in that in
I
between
love that.
dimension. I hate it, dude. It's terrifying. I always feel like there's something there, like fucking like strangling me, or
Oh
like
no,
it's
see, mine
never
are
a
never
comfortable
bad like
situation.
that. Whenever I'm like drifting off, like before I do fall asleep, whenever I'm drifting off, it's like my brain just like I start thinking about random stuff, and it's just kind of like rabbit hole of thoughts, but they just get like weirder and crazier, and somehow I'll end up at like fucking I don't know like playing ping pong with frogs as the balls or something like that. You know what I mean?
No.
And like just something like outrageous, like a mix between like some kind of animal or reptile and like regular like solid like things that you can buy or
It's
build.
just an
And
object.
and like and then like I'll get like woken up and I'll be like, huh? And I'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, wow, that was weird. I can
those
never
those
tell
frogs were
anybody.
ping pong balls.
Yeah. We're like using like puffer fish for kickballs.
Dude, it's like Shrek where they blow up the frogs and use them as balloons
Yeah,
or like flour.
literally.
That's crazy, dude. I know we've definitely said this before, but I can't wait until technology gets to a point where we can like record our dreams and go back and watch
Yeah.
them. That would be sick, dude.
You think you're gonna watch them from the third person or the first person if they're recorded,
Ooh, good question.
right?
Probably, since they're
Probably
probably just
first.
recording the brain waves, it depends on the person. So, like,
Yeah.
for you, it would probably be the way you dream it, and for if it was
Yeah.
my dreams, it'd be the way I dream it,
Right,
would be my
right, right.
guess.
Because it would still, you would want the technology to still be able to recreate the image that your brain was projecting. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
whatever like your subconscious brain was like putting into your mind to create those images, you would expect it would create the same images, not like the same storyline from a different POV.
Yeah, but it would be cool if they did have that. Like, hey,
Right.
it's like,
Now
dude,
here's an
it's like
alternate. Well,
it's
here's the
like the
thing.
Netflix of dreaming subscription based. Pay another
Yeah.
$7 and you get the third person POV.
I mean, it would be easy, right? Like you would just take your dream and then be like, okay, here's my dream, and then you just go bloop, put it into AI, and they're like, okay, here's how it looks like from third person. You know what I mean? Or maybe then they
Dude,
could just like create like a whole. If you wanted to make it a subscription based thing like Netflix, they could turn that dream and take your dream and make like a whole TV series or like a little movie out of it.
Lego Kenny's dream. Play it on PS2.
Not
That would
bad.
be cool if they could do that with memories too.
Yeah.
Dude, that would help solve so much crime if they could just be
Yeah.
like, all right, we're gonna record this guy's memories and see how it actually went down.
Yep.
That would be crazy. I bet
That's
there'd be no
probably
crime. That's like the ultimate crime solver.
well, the ultimate crime solver is okay, we're gonna, take all your memories, but we're gonna do it monthly, and if you've done anything illegal in the past month, we're gonna bang you for it. That's also like
Oh yeah, that
communism,
sounds terrible,
dictatorship,
dude. That's like
totalitarian type
that
shit.
is like the ultimate communistic like view, like
Yeah, like
down to your
whatever
thoughts and
that's
memories.
worse somehow than what the CCP is doing with fucking their citizens in China.
Yeah. Oh, that's much worse, dude. That you can't even have like I mean, thoughts are different than memories, but like if it comes down to memories, like what if you just like see something that you weren't even a part of and they can just be like, "All right, we
Oh, and
need
they
you to
could be
come
like, all
in."
right, well, you should have said something.
Right. That's terrifying.
Do you know who Uncle Roger is?
I know Kenny Rogers.
Uncle Roger is like a Asian comedian dude. He did this bit on CCP and like their surveillance, and it's so funny because they're like, "Oh no, like you can't say anything bad." Like, he's like praise G, because like Xi, like Jinping, like that's like their president dude. And
Yeah.
then he's like, you can't say anything bad, blah blah blah. Like they're all listening on their Huawei phones, like they can all hear you. And then he's like, oh, like is anybody in here from Taiwan? And like a bunch of people cheer, and then he's like, no, that is not a real country. Taiwan is not a real country. All hail the motherland. Like you should come back to China. Blah blah blah. And apparently, like for mocking him, like they banged his social credit score
Damn,
allegedly.
really?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think he's mostly like an American now. Like he lives in America and stuff like that. But
Right.
he
That's
still like has
crazy.
ties to China.
Dude, it's wild that like we have all like these people over in our country. Listen, I'm gonna start with this. Our country's not perfect, obviously. We have a bunch of shit wrong with it, but like we have so much more freedom than a lot of people on the planet and like just such a different way of life. Like people over here bitch about their problems, but then it's like, dude, people in North Korea don't even know like what real life is. They're just
Nope.
known what they just know what they're told and half like
They
more
know
than
what they're
half of it is
told, and they
bullshit, dude.
literally live in like such insane poverty. It's unreal.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
pretty
And
much,
it's
like
like
your average run of the mill citizen is like living in the slums, like finding crickets to eat for dinner.
and they think that's normal, dude.
Yeah, that's just life. That's
That's
just life.
crazy.
And like they go to school and they learn that the fucking whoever's running the show over
Young
there, that
Junkin,
knucklehead. Yeah, yeah, that guy. He's they make it like he's literally God. Like the religion, their school textbooks, like the like Korean North Korean history books, is like basically the Bible, the story of Jesus Christ, but it's Korean leaders.
as him. Yeah, that's wild, dude. They have no way out of like what their situation is, but
No, and
it's
they
not
should
even that
escape,
they
and that's
don't.
so
They
hard.
don't even know. Like they don't even have
They
the
don't even know
thought.
that's an
Like,
option. Yeah, because
right,
they think that
dude.
North Korea is all they know. They don't even know that there's a world outside of North Korea.
I know, which is crazy when they have like they still have like the technology. It's not like there's some indigenous tribe like in the Amazon where they just have no way out and
I
couldn't
mean,
know.
pretty much though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they still like they're
Like they
still
like
like
they don't have internet
modernized,
and
but they
stuff like
still
that.
yeah. The
Like
internet
there's
they
no
do
like
have is like a selection of like 7 or 8 websites that they're allowed to go on. And they just think
yeah.
that's all the internet and all like technology is.
Yep. It's wild.
Man. Apparently he tells like everyone every year that he wins the PGA championship with a score of 18.
Hell yeah,
He gets
dude.
a hole in
18
one
hole
on
in
every
ones.
hole. Yeah.
Not bad.
And they're just like, "Oh yeah, you must be pretty good at golf." It's not realizing that's basically impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's hitting a golf ball 500 yards on a par 5 hole in one.
Right.
Could you
People
imagine?
dude, yo, I fucking what is even that called? A hole in one on a par 5? That's
I don't
less than an
know.
albatross.
Right, because you go birdie, eagle, albatross.
I'm going to look it up. What's less than an albatross?
I don't know. You're lucky I even know albatross.
What
I
is
can't
lower
even
than
get birdies.
Yeah, I mean, same. Oh, it's just called albatross. No, that's what an albatross is. Oh, what is this question? What is an ostrich in golf? A golfer who scores an ostrich is one who played a hole in 5 under par. That would be a hole
Okay.
in one, right? On a par 5?
No, that because that would be 4 under par.
How is that even possible then?
You got to get it hole in one on a par six.
Par six.
They exist. They're out there.
I know. I've seen a picture of. I think it was somewhere out west or like in Oregon or something where it was like one of the few like par six holes like in the country, and I was like, that just sounds weird, dude.
Yeah, it's probably like 700 or 800 yards, and then you got to get a hole in one.
I just throw that shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, throwing a golf ball is super fucking painful.
Yeah, especially now because like I'm not used to throwing things. I'm old.
Yeah, isn't that wild, dude? Like back in high school, like baseball, our BP coach would throw like obviously like an hour of BP a day, and then he'd just be like, "All right, I need someone else to come in. My arm's tired." I was like, "Dude, you've barely been throw like you don't throw hard, and it's just like you're lobbing it. Like, how could that hurt you?" But now I fucking get it, dude. I throw
Yeah,
the football on the
because
beach for 10 minutes, and I'm like, "God
I'll
damn."
throw the baseball with you in the backyard at the bachelor party for 10 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, this my shoulder hurts. I get like literally two throws in, and I'm like, oh, I can feel it.
Yeah, you know what's funny, dude? When we lived on Destiny, I got like this pitching net, and I was like, summer was coming up, so I was like, oh, I think I might play like in a summer league or like get back into baseball. So I got this pitching net to like build myself up and like pitch into, and I think I threw like 15 pitches the first day, like not even anything crazy, just like a little warm up, like after I stretched and everything. Dude, I shit you not, for a week I couldn't lift my arm above my head, and I was like, "Holy fuck, dude!" I thought I had like a torn ligament or something, not from that, but just like a lingering one, and then doing this
Yeah,
like that's how bad the pain was. And then I was just like, "All right, I'm gonna
I
give it like
believe
a
it.
week and see how I feel." And then like about a week and a half, 2 weeks went by, and it went away. But I was like, "All right, maybe pitching right now is not my best." When I've just been like drinking and smoking with my college friends for 4 years, like
Yeah, literally.
probably not the best option.
I go outside and throw tennis balls against the house, like play a little wall ball, and Ben gets
Wall ball's the
excited.
shit, dude. That's one of the
Yeah, I
best
mean,
like recreational sports ever.
yeah, and
But I
everybody
feel like
plays it
it's super
different.
low key. Oh yeah, everyone. We always played it like where you could peg. You
Yeah,
know what I
of
mean?
course. Yeah.
But like sometimes, like if you're using like a fucking lacrosse ball, like obviously,
Well, yeah, you can't do it with a crossbar.
yeah.
But if you have like a tennis ball or like a wall ball, they're like not as hard, so you can peg with those.
Have you ever played the soccer version of it?
No.
Dude, oh my god, literally every day before soccer practice, we would go out like the backside of our school, and it was just like a giant brick wall, like right next to our soccer field. So for like the last hour of the day before practice, we'd all go out there and just like get our practice shit on and go kick a ball against the wall. But we'd play like you gotta like shoot the ball pretty much. You can't pass it. You have to get it to the wall from like 20 yards away, and whoever like plays the rebound, if they don't have like a
A
good
good
first
touch.
touch or like a first like they can trap it, but if it's just like a bad like a shitty bad touch, you got to run to the wall, and then whoever can get to the ball first can just rip a shot at you. It's so fun.
That's awesome.
It's so fun, dude. There'd be times where like we'd go a day or two without hitting anybody, and then there'd be like the one where somebody just gets sniped in the head, and it would be the funniest fucking shit.
I gave my coach a concussion once kicking a soccer ball, and I also had him as a teacher. And when I came into class the next day, we were literally in the state playoffs. He was like, actually, it was the state sectional final, and he was like, if we don't win today, I'm gonna give you a worse concussion than you gave me at practice. And I was like, all right, deal. I guess
Fine.
that's how we're playing it. So then we won, and then we went to the state semis. But
No
um,
concussion from coach.
nah, but just like acute ones throughout my entire career. I'm sure I got a
Right.
couple in the
Which
game.
those are probably worse than like one bad
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it's all right.
Um, dude, my baseball coach got a concussion once from my friend Stevie, who was like our third baseman. We were doing this drill where he hits the fungo like ground balls all across the infield, and then you turn two, and there was
Yeah,
somebody at home plate catching for him, so he could just feed him the ball again. And Stevie like fielded this ground ball, and it like hit the like the heel of his glove, and he picked it up to throw it back to the home plate catcher. And coach wasn't looking at him; he was looking at the first baseman, like talking to him or doing something. And literally, he lets go of the ball and is just like, "Coach!" And he turns, dude, and the ball catches him straight like in the jaw. Like
Damn.
he was my math teacher. He came in the next day. He was like, "Yeah, apparently I have a concussion," and his jaw was just like he had like a softball coming off the side of it, dude.
Sheesh.
Stevie was a freshman at the time too, like on varsity, so he was like, "Oh fuck, dude! Like
Yeah, tough
I
scenes to
just
start.
ruined coach's life on my first like week of being on the team."
Did you see Yankees announcer get smoked with the ball?
Dude, that was so funny, bro. Like John
I
Sterling
know.
is the goat. Takes it to the face. He's just like, "Ow, ow, ow."
Yeah,
Like the most basic. If that was me, I'd be like, "Oh shit, what the fuck, dude? Did you
I
see
know.
that?"
I
Like,
know. He's
so
just ow,
professional, dude.
ow,
So
ow.
professional.
And then 2 pitches later, the Yankees win.
Yeah,
The
no.
Yankees
Yeah.
win.
Did you see his next video he posted the next day where he was like he had like bandages like on his chin and like on his forehead and he was just like, "Hey, just wanted to say thank you for everyone's like thoughts. Like I'm okay. Um I'm I'm happy you reacted the way I did to finishing the game. Like, let's go Yanks." And he's just like this 85-year-old like fucking legend who's every Yankees fan hears that voice and it like raises the hair on their arms. That's how legendary he
Right,
is to
right.
like Yankees baseball.
It's Merrill Reese for the Yankees.
Right, exactly. And so I like the Yankees posted that on TikTok and I commented on it. I was like, "John's the fucking goat," and they were like, "The best in the business, baby." I was like, "Damn right, dude. Let's go." But it was just so funny because he said it was coming up towards him too. He was like, "Foul ball up this way," and then he like looks down and then looks back up to the ball just like immediately coming down, bouncing off in front of his chest and hitting him in the face.
Yeah, yeah.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, what a character this guy.
It's so funny, dude, because if you listen to him, like he just does the radio, but obviously if you listen to him, he just like goes on these random like rants or he'll just say something that has nothing to do. There's a whole Twitter account called John Sterling Calls of just like he'll say like 2 sentences, be like, "Yeah, well, the milkman was out there on my porch this morning. And the 1-2." It's just like, what, dude? What are you talking about?
He's probably just got like,
Dementia?
yeah, yeah, whatever
Early
Biden's
onset?
got.
That Biden shit.
Yeah,
Don't know exactly what it is, but god damn it, it is something.
whatever makes you talk about like the most irrelevant thing and not make much sense out of it, that's what it is. That's what
That's
he's
the Joe
got.
Biden. Oh man, that's funny. So how's it been the first like was it been a week? Has it been a week yet?
No,
No,
it'll be a week
6 days.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll
So
be
I was
a
gonna say
week.
it was literally we recorded Wednesday's pod and then the next morning at 4 a.m. right?
Yeah, yeah. But well, we recorded on Tuesday,
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
but then yeah, Thursday. So we went to the hospital on Wednesday, and then we had the baby Thursday morning at 4. It's been good, dude. He's cool. It's funny. Like I was like, all right, like now I kind of want to have another one. Like this guy's pretty dope. Like it's only been a
Dude,
couple days, but
my
I'm
mom's
kind of
told me
like,
that my whole
damn.
life. She was like, "Dude, like and I've always said like I don't know if I really want kids because like I don't know, it just sounds like blah." But she was like, "Dude, when you have a kid, and I'm sure I will have a kid eventually, like
Yeah,
Meg and I would probably plan on that, but when I do, she's like, "Dude, you're going to feel like a love that you are incapable of feeling right now." And I was like, "Yeah, that kind of makes sense, but like I obviously don't understand it cuz I haven't had my own
right.
child yet." Is
It's
that how
funny. I
you
was
felt?
um, yeah, kind of. I mean, I don't know if I felt the love yet, but it's just like this is my dude. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
this is my little man, and like he's gonna be dope as shit, and like he's already good, and like I care about him like so much. Like when other people like talk about it, I'm like, hey, you watch your mouth.
Who's talking shit about your baby? Hey yo, fuck them kids, Michael Jordan. This dude's 5 days old and he's already got beef.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny, dude. I can't wait to meet him.
No, but he's
He's gonna.
cool. He's
I'm
cool.
gonna come around him in a Yankees hat, dude, and he's gonna be like,
This
I've already
guy's
got
bad
the Philly
news.
in my blood, yeah."
This guy's
Then I'll be
bad
like, "No, dude,
news.
it's cool, it's cool. I'm a Birds fan too," and he's like, "All right, I kind of like this guy."
Yeah, he's like, I'm skeptical.
Do newborn babies laugh like, or do they learn that?
No, they definitely don't laugh. I tried tickling his toes and he didn't like it.
He's
I was
nah,
tickling
dude,
his
you
feet
just
and he
gotta hit
didn't
him.
like it.
Try hitting him with a joke.
I don't think he can understand words.
Hey, bud, listen. I'm gonna be the first one to give you this joke. Why'd the chicken cross the road? And then you're gonna hit him with the whole to get to the other side for the first time, and he's gonna think it's the funniest fucking thing he's ever
He's
heard.
gonna hit me with a fucking has bull laugh. Yeah, right, right.
It's so funny because it's so true. Like I saw a tweet last night that said, "Motherfuckers was 10 hearing the name Bob and thinking it was hysterical." I was like, "Bro, that's so true." Like kids have the most basic sense of humor because they don't know of anything, so they're just
It's
like, "Oh,
great.
Bob, that's a funny sound." I was the
Yeah.
same way.
Yeah, but having him definitely I've been like, all right, maybe we don't have to because like Lex and I were like, okay, like we'll have one and then we'll like wait like like 3 or 4 years because like we didn't really want to have a kid like this soon. Like this wasn't the plan from the get
Right.
go, right? So, but now it's like, all right, like
We're in this game.
maybe
Might as well add to it.
might as well throw in another one, right? Like if we're gonna have one, might as well have two, and then if you have two, I mean, what's a third? And then at
Right.
that point, they just kind of start raising each other. So let's just build the tribe.
Yeah, that was like I was gonna say the best way to like I feel like in my opinion have kids is to have them like kind of similar age groups, just because like they're gonna grow up and be friends. Like it's kind of different if you
Right.
have like there's those families that'll have a kid and then have another kid like 8 or 9 years later, and it's like they're like already kind of missed their like they're gonna be at such different points of their lives pretty much the entire life of this like younger one. So
Yep.
I'm also biased because my brother's like a year and 8 months younger than me,
Yeah.
so we're pretty
My
much the
no,
same.
my cousins Alyssa and Bobby, they're pretty far apart. My cousin Alyssa is 4 years older than me. No, three, 3 or 4. But my cousin Bobby's like 4 years younger than me, maybe 5. So they're obviously pretty far apart. But like, I mean, yeah, they're homies, but like they weren't like hanging out growing up and stuff like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? They just have like a
Yeah.
different relationship. I mean, like they
Right.
still love each other. It's kind of like what they do,
Yeah,
and
you're still siblings, obviously, but like
yeah.
I just
But
know Maggie is closer to her younger sister because that's kind of who she grew up with.
right, but also Alyssa's husband has been dating Alyssa since they were in like 8th grade or high school. So like that was Bobby's. Like he's always been around Bobby like an older brother. So like they're all like pretty tight.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Even though they live in San Diego.
Is that who you went out to see when the last time you went to California?
Yeah, yeah, for her birthday.
Word.
Good time, good time. She's dope, dude. She's been like so helpful throughout the whole pregnancy because she delivers babies for a living. Like she works in the labor and delivery.
Right.
Um, so she's been like really helpful. She got us in. She didn't get us in, but she recommended like the hospital that we used, and the hospital that we went to was great, and the nurses were amazing, and the doctors were stellar. So big kudos to her, and she's been there for like questions along the way that you're like, hey, this thing happened, right? Like, what do you think I should do? Like, what's your opinion? Blah blah blah, and just
Right.
like for Lex to be able to talk about like things with like an actual nurse who like she knows on a personal level that she trusts. You know what I
Right.
mean?
It's
Like
easier
I
to
think
talk to like when you have that personal relationship, it's easier to ask questions
yeah,
and talk about stuff like that
and
when it's just a
and
random
just
nurse you've never
like
met.
to like get like like a genuine opinion. Like I feel like sometimes like nurses are like, all right, like this is kind of what we do. This is like the course of action, but like I might not do that if it was me because like I have a better understanding of the situation. But then
Right.
it's like, we can talk to Alyssa and she can be like, okay, well maybe like, do X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah. And also without I know probably talking to like her mom or my mom, like they're not nurses that deliver babies. That's not their specialty. And like, yeah, they have their
Right.
opinions and stuff, but like they're not based in any
They don't
like
have the experience.
yeah, they don't have the experience, they don't have the background, and like when they were giving birth, it was so long ago. Things have changed so much.
So
It's
much.
crazy. It's not apples and apples anymore.
Right.
It's totally different. Like when it comes to actually like raising the baby and like instilling good values in the baby, like that shit hasn't changed. Like that's still like the same. Like but
The
when it
actual
comes to
delivery of the baby is
yeah
just
yeah
way different now because of I mean, dude, think about it.
dude,
Like
my mom
our
my
parents
mom was telling
did
us
that shit
that
like 25 years ago.
Yeah, my mom said that with Cassandra, they put her in like a bassinet, and they put towels around her so that she didn't like roll. And now it's like they're supposed to be in the bassinet with nothing because they can like roll into those towels and suffocate, and it's happened. Like that's why they tell
Oh
you that,
yeah,
obviously. You know what I
right,
mean? Because like their noses aren't very big, so they roll over and their nose is like pushed into like a blanket or a towel and they can't breathe. And
right.
that's why like you can't sleep with your baby because they're so small. If
You'll just
if I
yeah.
roll over and they're underneath me, they can't get me
They
off.
can't move. Right.
If I'm like sleeping and they're like, even if they're trying to scream, it's gonna be muffled. Like, you know what I mean? So that's why like they can't sleep with like adults and stuff like that. But I
Yeah,
mean,
I
some
mean,
people still do it. Some people are
I was
rebels
gonna
and they're like,
say,
no,
dude,
like
like
we co-sleep. That's what they call it, co-sleeping in the industry.
when you have your baby in a crib, like in your room.
No, no, no. When you have your baby in your bed.
Oh, oh.
Yeah,
People, I would be too. I wouldn't be able to sleep if I tried to do that.
right. And like you don't want your kids to be like so used to being like all over you. That's why it's like we keep saying like we don't want to raise a Velcro baby that's like always attached to us. So like we try to like yesterday he was held a lot. We had people over in the morning and in the afternoon, so he was held a lot. Spent like no time on his own, and we're like, all right, like he needs to like spend some time in his bassinet, like, and not be accustomed to always being in people's arms, and also
Right.
not being accustomed to like being in somebody's arms like as or getting picked up like as soon as he starts crying. So like we try to like ignore him for a little bit, let him cry it out, and sometimes he's just like fussy and he's just like cranky, and then he's sleeping in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
You know what
which
I
is
mean?
understandable. He's been here for like 10 minutes.
Right.
He's like, well, I
But
don't know what is going on.
it's tough
Nobody's
because
answered my
sometimes Ben
questions.
barks.
Oh
So
yeah,
like
does that
he'll
scare
start
him?
crying and we won't get up, and then Ben will start barking at us like, "Yo, the baby's crying. You gotta do something."
Ben's probably like, "Fuck you! I'm not getting all the attention now. I'm gonna bark and wake
No, dude,
this
he,
kid
he
up."
like he definitely likes him. He's like a little scared of him still, but like he gives him kisses now and again, and like he's always like watching him and like just like keeping an eye out for him.
So yeah, what's good? You're chilling.
Yeah,
All right, you
yeah.
need anything to drink? No. All right.
And like whenever like he makes a lot of weird noises, so Ben's always like, "What's going on over there? What's this dude saying?"
Ben's like, let me get my baby frequency adapter in. He just puts this thing in his ear. Oh, oh, dude, he's saying he's ready to poop. Thanks, Ben.
uh, he be pooping too, and he loves peeing, dude. He pees. He loves to pee after I take his diaper off, bro.
That's funny.
Come on.
It's like, bro,
Never.
you
He
could have
never
waited
does it to
5
Lex either.
minutes.
He only does it
Just
to
you?
me. Yeah, he's done it like 5 or 6 times already,
Oh no.
and he's only done it since we've been home. We've only been home since Saturday afternoon,
That's at like once a day fucking frequency, dude.
or more.
My man's batting 1,000.
I mean, almost. He's probably batting 800 when it comes to me.
What's the over under? Is it at 0.5 or what? The daily over
Um,
under.
the daily over under, I'd say it's probably like minus 200 on the over and like plus a buck
Fuck.
50 on the under.
Wow. All right.
That's what I would say.
I'm smashing that under or that over, dude. Minus 200. You throw that in a little six legger. You're looking good. Oh, that's funny
Yeah, I got no money to bet with on FanDuel anymore after last night's
because of
experiment.
me.
Yeah.
Dude, last night it's kind of sucks that we both had like tough nights betting last night because
Well,
I
I wasn't
literally
even
placed.
close.
I know, but I placed my bet and I was like, I was feeling so good about it. And dude, I put in a bet like maybe once every like month, once a month, twice a month, like not in NFL season. Not NFL season, it's like once a week. But for
Right.
baseball, I'm just like, all
Once a
right, let
week.
me check
Whoa.
out the slate of games. Like, yes, on Sunday I'll put in like a 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock bet.
It's crazy because I put in probably I don't know, 10 bets on a Sunday, one or two on Thursday, one or two on Monday. I'll probably do I like to do the like DraftKings lineups.
The
I
daily
like to do
fantasy stuff.
Yeah, I like to do daily fantasy. I like to do the showdown ones too. So like Thursday and Monday, and then I'll usually do like one on Sunday. But those are
Right.
cheap. I'll just do like because those are just for fun. I like to fuck around and like make lineups, and I know that I'm not real good at it, so I'll just put like I'll find like dollar contests that I can
Yeah.
enter. Um, but yeah, Once a week. Oh boy.
Well, dude, I was looking at the first of all, I saw that tweet that I sent you where it was like the whole like how you do like the ninth inning stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I like that. Like that sounds like a pretty solid theory, but like there's so much that goes into it. I feel like you got to like
Yeah. I want to look into like who are the best closers in the league, and then when are they home,
right. So then
and
there's no
are
not
they
even a
are they
bottom of
the
the ninth.
favorite? Right. So then it's like, okay,
Yeah, that
because
formula
his
sounds like it would
kid's
work.
theory was, I want to look at home teams that I think will win, but I want to take it a step further and get home teams that I think will win that have good closers.
Yeah, the Orioles, I'm telling you, are probably pretty high on that list. Because one, they're a good team this year. Two, they have like the best 1-2 punch in the bullpen, like probably in all of MLB with Bautista and Cano. Dude, it's like but the Baltimore Orioles are a scary team. I'm saying like I think a lot of people still are kind of sleeping on them, but dude,
They
they're a
better wake up.
machine right now. Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, dude. So you do that, and then fucking what, like $10 a day, I would say, or $10 per leg or per time you put in that bet.
yeah,
And then obviously it's not $10 like after the second day if you win, it would be 20, but
that's the goal.
you're still really only losing $10.
The Orioles are 42 and 24,
Yeah, they're good, dude.
4 games ahead of the Yankees in the AL East and the wild card.
The AL East, dude, look at the AL East right now and then look at like the AL Central. The Central is an absolute joke.
So actually, crazy stuff that I saw today. The Oakland A's have won 7 straight.
Did you see the reverse? I was going to actually bring
The
this up on
reverse
the
boycott.
podcast. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was dope,
dope.
dude.
I saw something about it. And I know I sent you a thing about it, and then I was watching. I was ESPN or something, and they had like 27,000 fans in there. They were getting rowdy. The Oakland A's pitcher couldn't hear. You know how they have like the catcher presses a button and it calls the plays, and they have like speakers on in their
Yeah, yeah,
hats
yeah.
now.
The pitch
Couldn't
comp
hear it. Couldn't hear it because it was too loud in
because
there,
they're
and
all
they're
chanting
not
sell the
used to it.
team.
Yeah, they're all chanting "sell the team." Um, they've won 7 in a row. They beat the MLB leading Rays yesterday, 2-1.
Dude, they beat them twice. They took a series from the Rays. They just swept their first series, I think.
I mean, not bad.
They don't have
They're
the
not the
worst
worst
record
team
in
in baseball
baseball.
anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Because they were at what? We were clowning them like
They
two
were
weeks ago
12
for
and
having.
50 through
Yeah,
through 62 games. They were 12 and 50, and now they're 19 and 50. Look at them go. They might win it all.
don't let them get hot.
Don't let them get hot. That's right.
You know what we're literally witnessing right now, dude?
Uh,
Moneyball 2.
Moneyball too. Oh, they did theirs in Oakland too, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be Moneyball. Like I'm telling you, if somehow the A's, I mean, they're not gonna make like a playoff run or anything, but I mean, in
Maybe
Moneyball, it's
next
not
year.
like they won the World Series or anything. But no, even this year, if the Rays kind of turn it around and get to be like a 500 team by the end of the year, and then like the owner's gonna obviously like move to Las Vegas, like tell me that's not the perfect script for Moneyball too. It's like, all right, we had this shitty team, like we found these guys, and then like things just came together in a year where there was absolute fucking mayhem going down in Oakland about like our fan
Yeah,
base and the team. Move to Las Vegas and then become like this organization that I don't know. I don't know how the A's are gonna go for the first like two or three. Like, is it gonna be the Las Vegas Athletics?
yeah,
Are they gonna
probably.
change? You don't think they'll change their
Because like the
name?
Raiders are still the Raiders.
Yeah, that's true.
They could change it though,
I
because
don't know.
sometimes
Las
teams
Vegas
change.
Athletics just doesn't sound good. Or the Vegas
Yeah,
Athletics. Like that just
if
doesn't
you
sound
wanted to
good.
keep the A's, you could do like the Aces, but I think the Aces are like a WNBA team there,
Yeah, yeah, that's
which is
true.
kind of annoying. They took like the best Vegas name.
The thing with the A's kind of sucks, dude, because it's like if you're doing a total rebrand, like you're like there's so much like Oakland has a lot of baseball history. Like between Moneyball and their 70s run with like Ricky Henderson where they won like I think it was like 3 or 4 straight. Don't fact check me on that, but they were really good in the 70s and they have a lot of baseball history in them. So like to kind of just be like, "All right, fuck this, we're moving to Vegas." Like
Yeah,
that's a huge end of an era.
and they were talking, and it's like they're trying to say that they're like, their roots are in Oakland. Like if your roots are in Oakland, then you should probably fucking stay there.
Right. And I mean, the fans pretty easily showed last night. I mean, they only had 27,000, which is like
That's by
half of
far the
Yanks.
most they've had all season.
Oh, dude, that's like times like 15 what they've had all season. I think they've before this they maxed out at like 4,000 maybe. But not even that, honestly. Like most single A teams, like the Wilmington Sharks, a mile from my house right now, probably getting more fans than the fucking Oakland Athletics.
The Sharks.
They're dude. I found out last week they're the Double A affiliate of the Brewers, so it's not even like the Pelicans are low A. This is a Double A team. That's probably some pretty solid baseball being played over there.
Not bad. You should go check it
Like,
out. Probably cheap tickets too.
yeah, dude, they're like $7, and the stadium is walkable distance from my house.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Um,
I'd
I think
probably
we're
take
gonna
a
try and
bike. Like
do
now you and Max got bikes,
got
dude.
bikes. I got my parts on the way. Actually, I ordered them officially yesterday because I got everything like ready to be painted and stuff. So I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Saturday, if I don't go golfing, which I really want to, I think I might just take the day. I got to go to Lowe's and get some stuff, and then I'm just gonna paint all my shit and put my whole bike together so that it's just done and over with. Because this project I started like a month and a half ago, and I just haven't had time. Like we haven't been home in a weekend in over a month,
Yeah.
where I've had time to just like, all right, I have a full day of myself to just like bang this out. But
I'd like to go golf. I don't think it's gonna happen too soon though, but I got the itch.
yeah, Jake's playing World Tour this weekend. That you know what that course is in Myrtle, where it's like every hole is a replica of like a famous hole.
That's dope.
Yeah, I've played it once. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't too hard either, which was cool, but it's just always so fun to like pull up on a new hole and be like, "Oh, dude, we're at like this is literally a replica of 17 at Augusta or
Right, right,
Pine Hills or whatever."
right. Um yeah, I would like to go golf, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. I might just go see if I can get like an hour or two at the range maybe, just to
Good
work on
range
my
sesh
swing
never
because it's
hurts,
not it's
dude.
not very good.
Yeah, I mean it's been what's the date? The 14th, almost a month since I've golfed. Well, I haven't golfed since Mexico, and that was about a month ago.
Yeah, I've golfed a few times recently, so I can't complain, but I'm itching. I
You
want to get
should
back out there, dude. I
you
want to
should get
get.
one of those like walker things. Like if you want to walk nine, just throw JT like in the stroller, like the golf bag stroller that they have.
See, that would be amazing, except I don't keep the ball in the fairway, so I'm not like confident enough to walk yet. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
true. True.
But I mean, that would be best case scenario, right? Like, all right, like I'm gonna take the kid and go golf. You have a few hours to yourself. I'll play nine, and I'll be
Go get your
back. And
nails done.
yeah, dude, we'll pull up to the course, dude. I'll get checked in, feed him, get him a bottle, right? Like he'll be tired after that bottle. He'll sleep for most of it, if not all of it.
Yeah. And he's just put a little sun hat on him, dude, and he's fucking out like a light for 9 holes.
Get him a sun hat, and I'm obviously gonna have something that like covers his face.
Right.
Try to keep the sun off of him.
Dude, yeah, that would be. Have you ever seen like the backpacks that like the golfer dads have, where it's like big
Yeah,
from the
but
back?
I feel
It's
like I
like, dude,
can't
you can.
backpack him.
Not
The
only that, how
swing,
do you swing
I'm
a yeah? How do you
gonna
swing a
clog
golf
him in the
club?
head on the
Damn, oh,
backswing.
sorry, bud. Fuck, you made me choke it. Oh man.
The Phils have kind of turned it around a little bit.
Oh,
I mean,
you were
they're
pretty down bad on them last week, so that's good to
still
hear.
am, dude. They're below 500.
Oh, so they haven't
Well,
turned it
they're
around.
33 and 34,
Oh, they're
but
like
they're
the
only
Red
two and a
Sox
half out
right
of a
now.
wild card, and that's really all we need is a wild card. Um, they've won 8 of their last 10. I think they won the last 2 against the Nationals, and then swept the Tigers, and then took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers, and then lost game 1 to the Diamondbacks 9-8 when JT hit for the cycle. Um, and then they beat them last night 15-3. They beat them last night 15-3 with 20 hits.
Damn.
It all comes in one game, dude. It's crazy.
Well, the Diamondbacks are a solid team too, so that's
Diamondbacks
no
are a
small
solid
feat.
squad.
Corbin Carroll's a madman, dude. Have you seen any of him yet this year?
Nah,
He's
I
like,
haven't watched
dude,
much, but maybe I will because I'm about to start calling random games, but I don't want to have to stream and be behind. So I'm probably and
yeah,
like worry about lagging out. So I'm probably
right,
just gonna try to like do like whatever's on national television that day. You know what I mean? And then just be like, all right, like
right.
I'm gonna go call this game.
Yeah, I mean, if it's on national TV too, there's probably the most people watching.
That's
which
true.
was
I might
an go ahead.
I might try to double up and do. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it on Riverside, and I'm gonna have it live stream out to YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. But it's just gonna be me calling. Like I'm not gonna be able to have the game played because I'm
Right,
gonna get boned for copyright. It's not gonna work.
right.
Um, so I'm just gonna have it's just gonna be my voice, and then I might try to double up and do Chromecast as well. You know what I
What
mean?
is
Because
that?
then
What is Chromecast? Like a
Or not Chromecast, sorry, Colorcast. What I was doing
oh,
before.
you're right, right, right.
And
I
see
was
if I
gonna
can like
say,
do both of them. Because I'll do Riverside obviously with this mic, but then maybe I could do Colorcast like with my AirPods. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And then it's like I just have to do it once, and I can be on both, and I can hit both those audiences. But then yeah, I can clip up like moments in the game. I'll just be like, all right, like that was like a good moment, like clip it, and then I'll
just
try
post
to
it to
like
social.
find like what do we call that? The video clip, right? Strip the audio from it and see if I can post that to social like in
Oh,
like a
yeah,
side
yeah,
by
yeah.
side, or like the video on top and me calling it underneath.
That'd be pretty easy because you can just use like a regular like YouTube converter for that,
Yeah.
like to strip
Or
the
I mean,
audio from
I'm
it.
sure I could find it, like find that clip on, if it's a good play, right? I could find that clip on Twitter or something like that, you know what I mean? And then
Right.
just save the video from Twitter, take the audio off of it. And I don't really know how TikTok works, like if I could just like kind of put those two videos like on there at the same time like within TikTok, or if I have to create it separately, but if I do, I'm sure I have a Mac, so I'm sure I could do all that in iMovie, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, dude, I'll show you how to do like all that on TikTok. It's super easy, but it's like if I need a sound, like if I'm trying to grab a sound from like a sound that I've made, you literally can just like put like a picture or a video over it, add that sound, save it like to your favorites, delete the video off your feed, and then it'll still be like the full sound will be like in your actual, like you can still save the sound, like that won't be
Right, right,
deleted.
right.
So that's how I do that, and it's super easy.
Oh yeah, I could do just the sound and then have the whole picture be the video of the play and not
Yeah,
have me in it at all.
yeah, just your voice over the video.
Yeah.
That's
And that would be
probably
easy too. Because and
yeah,
like if I even if I wanted to, that would be so easy because then I could just I could save the video off of Twitter on my computer, plop that into iMovie, it's easy to take the volume off of it, and then I'll just add the audio clip that I can take from Riverside.
right. And then you do that and just throw it on TikTok, and then it
Easy money.
creates like, and so dude, the best way to get like not engagement, but if you find like people will use your sound, so like if you make that video right with your sound over it,
Yeah.
people can click into not just the video file but like the sound, and it will open up every video that's used that sound. Like so like the best way to go viral on TikTok is to create a viral sound. So if it's just like you like in a funny moment or something like that, people will
Yeah.
use that and just make millions of different like types of content with it. It's really interesting, dude, like the way how TikTok kind of came out, and like I feel like it was just like a huge platform for a lot of people because of like how easy it was to go viral
Yeah.
and just get really good exposure and like media outlets to the people that use the app.
Um Also I saw TikTok, they like don't moderate shit at all.
Oh, they're a little tough like on content. Like it's very kid friendly, like not, you know what I mean? Like people can't really like curse, and like if they're using like the
Oh, I meant
text over
like
videos.
I meant when it comes to like politics.
Oh, well that just depends on whatever you watch. Like
Yeah, that's true. But I just remember seeing things of like, there when stuff was going on in France when they were protesting, apparently like it was all over TikTok, but like it wasn't you weren't seeing it. That was kind of getting buried in the algorithms on all the other platforms. And they were
oh
kind of
yeah. Oh,
and
you
like
mean it's
and
like
they just like other platforms like I'll say like shadow banning almost like, you know, topics that they don't want the public to see or that our US government doesn't want the public to see.
Yeah, I mean, there was an era. I mean, I haven't been shadow banned on TikTok for a while, but I definitely got shadow banned on one for, I don't even know what I was saying. I think I was just kind of like, I made a video about, oh, you know what? I used like a sound from like 50 Cent, made the video, and then they took it down. Like it started to go off, and they took it down, and then I just like posted like a rant video about how it's kind of whack that TikTok like
To
has so
just take
much
your shit
set.
down.
Yeah, dude. Like, and it's like when they ban you too, like you don't really get like a warning. You pretty much just banned. So
See
like
ya. Wouldn't want to
there
be
was a
ya.
lot of people losing like pretty much their career because that's where all their audience was, and it was just like over something that wasn't even like that serious.
Yeah. I don't know,
They
dude.
have.
We'll
I
see.
wish we could take the TikTok algorithm, like the exact algorithm that they use, without all the like moderation and like community guidelines and stuff, and make like, I mean, obviously like censored to an extent. You don't want like illegal shit on there, but like just make it like
Yeah.
Vine, dude. Like, or like the Reddit of TikTok. Like if you could just take like use Reddit's guidelines and stuff where it's just like kind of just like old school internet free for all, like
Reddit
whatever you want.
boycotted.
Huh?
Reddit had a little boycott.
I actually saw that the other day, but I didn't look into it, so I don't know what it was like
Yeah.
about. I
So
saw
I
the
guess
headline.
Reddit, there's like third parties that can basically, I the way I understood it was like there are third party apps that can like give you Reddit content without being as janky as Reddit. That was
Like,
like the whole premise. And now they're trying to get those make those other apps to pay. Like that like it's basically like there's like if that might not be the exact usage, but there are like third party apps that will like take the data and like interface with from Reddit. Um and they're trying to like basically make them pay because they think that it's valuable, and the people that are like all the moderators and stuff are pissed off, and they're like we don't want to have to pay, and we don't want to like lose out on people who are like accessing our stuff through these third party platforms because they have to pay. So yeah, they like a bunch of them like were like, yeah, we're gonna not use Reddit and like close down our shit for a day. There's about like half of Reddit, which is a lot.
damn, that's a fuck ton. Could I feel like Reddit's been around for so long, dude, and they have like if you hear somebody that's like, I use Reddit, it's like, all right, like like you're a heavy user of like most social medias. I feel like if you have Reddit on your phone, it's like, dude, I go to Reddit and just type in a question and they always have the answer, like to literally any question you could think of, like why
Somebody
is
else
my
has asked
PS2
it.
server down or something. Yeah, that's just where you find everything. Like it's such an easy way to search, so like I
Yeah.
kind of understand like not
Twitter
wanting to
just hired
pay
a
and
new
all, but
CEO.
really.
Yeah, some chick. I can't think of her name. Some chick, but she sent this letter out, and her whole thing was like, "We want Twitter to be the online community square where people can come and engage and debate, and say what they want, and you can come and you can like trust it, trust the information that you're getting and stuff like that." Um, and I think that has a lot to do with like why Elon is like so concerned about bots. Like they're like, dude, we don't want fake people that are here just to like troll
Push an
and
agenda.
push an agenda and like you know get like the dirt stirred up. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they we want real people who are like acting as themselves
Right.
for better or worse.
I think that's awesome, dude. That's literally what it used to be. And when you think of like the wild wild west days of Twitter, it was like the 2010 to like 2015 era. That's when Twitter
Yeah,
was at its best, dude.
yeah.
That's what we need to go back to. It's just like I
But then people
hate how
saw
much
that
I did.
like how powerful social media was, so they were like, all right, well then let's get involved in every social media, and it all just gets like bombarded with companies, politics, people trying to push their personal brand or their personal agenda and stuff like that. And it comes it's people not acting like themselves. It's people acting the way that they think other people want them to behave in order to get likes, retweets, and shit like that. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
dude. Exactly.
It's really interesting when you think about like just the way that humans work, where when you interact with somebody, th- the way that they act is the way that they think you want them to act. and like everything and also everything that they do is like portraying like their self, right? So like most people are like in certain situations like they'll change the way they act to act in a way that they think is like appropriate for that situation, right? It's like when you're at work and stuff like that, and like you
Right.
don't act the same way you act around your friends, you act the way you think that your colleagues would want to see you. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or like, your bosses, the people that are above you. And when you're around your friends, you don't always just act like, off of like reaction. Sometimes you're trying to like, act the way that you think your friends are going to accept you, or like how your friends like would want their friends to be, you know what I mean? Or like you try to embody the person that you think
Like
your
your
friends want to
concept
be
of
friends
like,
with,
right.
or like you think your friends have a certain image of you and you kind of want to uphold that image, so you're going to act in a certain way. And sometimes it leads to people like not living in the moment and more like trying to live trying to live two steps ahead and anticipating like, okay, like this is where the conversation's going to go, and then I'm going to have to say this or do that, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to have to kind of like be on my toes and be ready to like interject with the right thing, like, and saying the right thing instead of just like
Like
going with the
living off
flow.
of reaction, right? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, dude. It's like the basis of just like not even just pop culture, but reality. Like it's like
Yeah.
that's
Just
every the
just
way
like
every
it's just
one of our
human
species thinks.
consciousness and like
Yeah,
how you
dude.
interact with people.
Right. And there's no like reason behind it. That's just how it is.
Mm-mm. Yeah. I mean, people just they want to be accepted. Like people want to be accepted. That's just kind of part of life, right? Like that's like a
Right.
pretty like core part of who we are as people. So, you're going to act in a way that you think will get you accepted.
That probably just comes down to like our like evolution of survival instincts too, dude. Because when
Yeah.
people like back in like caveman times, they were like, we're safer, we're stronger as a group. So like, how can I
Right.
get this group to like me and also
And if
like understand I'm
right,
here for the same purpose?
exactly, you have to get the group to like you, because if the group doesn't like you and you're not accepted into the group, then you're going to be on your own and you're probably going to starve or get eaten
Right.
by something bigger than you.
Or just be lonely. Man, I'm
Right.
bored. Why y'all ain't like me? You make caveman sounds weird.
Uh,
Which is wild, dude, because I feel like we're at a point like in our human evolution where we're past like the whole like even just war at this its simplest definition right now is literally just like territorial. We're just like territorial monkeys like throwing bombs at each other. That's what war is now. We're like, oh,
it's also a way to make money.
that too. Yeah, that's what's interesting is because I feel like that whole concept is still very new to like the human race. So it's like a lot of people base their money off of or their life off of like how much money they have and like where they
Yeah.
want to be like
Yeah.
financially. And that's
One of
not something that
Plato's,
humans like Plato's like the store, the toy or the actual intellect.
the intellect, the
All right,
philosopher.
just making sure.
Somebody asked him, they're like, "Hey, like what do you think is like the most peculiar thing about humans?" And he's like, "Well, like they don't spend any time living for today. They spend today like getting ready for tomorrow and like trying to plan for tomorrow, and like especially when it comes to money, like you'll sacrifice your health now for money, even though and down the line you're going to have to spend your all the money that you made to pay for your poor health." And like and basically just being like, are the things that we spend too much time like basically like acting like we're gonna live forever when
And just
actually
always being
we're
prepared for the
not.
future.
And like we're
Right.
always trying to be prepared for the future instead of living in the now.
Right.
um and I thought that was really interesting. And I mean that's really what it comes down to, is like you're like, all right, like I need to make all this money so that I need to make this money so I can have a good future. And like I'm not saying that I don't do that. I mean, I very much do. I'm like, I can't just quit my job, right?
Right.
I need money. And why do I need money? Because I need, long-term stability to be able to raise a family and, put a
And just
shelter over
live in
their head
general. Literally
and
just
put,
live.
food on their table, right? Like I can't do that if I don't have money. So because I'm, believe it or not a homesteader. So I'm not out here just raising animals and then eating them, because I'm just not good at that.
And
Not my
also that's
thing.
a lot of work. Imagine
Yeah,
having to go out and like kill an animal for every single meal.
I know.
That's
And
crazy,
like
dude.
I just it's like I just honestly I just wouldn't want to do that. I would like to buy my animals from somebody else, but I need money to buy them.
Right.
And I like to buy them also already dead.
Unless I'm the world's best criminal. I just never get caught stealing chicken from the Goodwill. I don't know
That's
why
true.
Goodwill has chicken, but
Yeah, I don't know. That would be terrifying.
could you imagine somebody goes into Goodwill? They're like, "Yeah, I just want to
Goodwill
donate this
pickups.
chicken." You think Goodwill door dashes?
I mean, if they sell chicken, I don't see why not.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, you're so right, and I think it just everything like comes down to the natural like evolution of life, like where we're just like everything is progressing to like not be better, but just like be more, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
curiosity is, I think, like the main driver in humans, and I think evolution is kind of just like going through the steps of life, and it's like, all right, well, you don't have to survive anymore because like there's buildings and shit and like actual technology, but like what's to say like what are 150 years from now, what are people going to think of us, like, you
right.
know what I mean?
It's interesting. I agree with what you said about curiosity, right? Like that kind of being like the main driver. Curiosity is so important, and we take that away from kids at a young age, right? It's like
Yeah, yeah,
because kids are curious and they want to see what things are about. They want to push their limits. They want to kind of you know climb things that might be too high, or play in the mud and see what mud feels
right, they
like.
just
You know
don't
what I
know what
mean?
anything is, like
And
that's
they
this
don't, and they want to
experience.
be curious. And then it's like, nah. How about you sit in this fucking chair and don't move for 8 hours? And if you get bored, then we're gonna give you amphetamines to chill you the fuck out.
Yeah, yeah, that's literally what it is, dude. It's like, no, I just haven't experienced, like I want to just run, like, and dude, that's the thing, like it comes down to a lot of like the people look like the way they parent their kids, but like I just don't want to be the type of parent that just like throws an iPad in my kid's face whenever he's like,
No,
you know what I
no.
mean, dude? Like, and
Yeah,
there's, think about it, there are so many people that do that,
I
and it's just
know.
like that's hurting him at such a young
I
age,
know.
or her.
Yeah, it's bad. How many kids out here are just like iPad babies and stuff like that, and I definitely don't want that to be my kid. Like, less is more,
That's
and
not
that's
life, dude. That's not
that's
what
what I've
life
been
is.
I've been trying to tell Lex. Like, the less stuff that we have, the more that our kids will be forced. Like, boredom is good. It's good. It's a good thing to be bored, and then like and then that, because I think boredom breeds creativity,
Yeah,
right?
and
And
also
like
like
a lack of
appreciation.
toys,
Yeah,
right? Right. It's gonna make you, like, first of all, use and appreciate the stuff that you have, and like you're not gonna be just overwhelmed with stuff. And I actually saw this video today of this dad and his two sons, and he's like talking to them separately, and he's like, "Hey, do you remember your birthday from 2 years ago?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, like what did you do?" And the one kid went to like some do something. They played manhunt and stuff like that. This other kid went to the movies with his friends, and then he's like, "Oh, like what presents did you get?" And they didn't know, and it was only 2 years ago. They're like, "I don't know," and he's like, "You don't remember? You remember you really wanted that from me and mom? Like you really wanted this so bad, and you don't remember what it was?" And he was like, "No, no, I have no idea." He's like, "But you wanted it so bad at the time," and he was like, "Yeah, I have no idea." And it's just like,
damn,
dude,
dude.
kids don't they like it's things, they don't care about things, they care about like what they do, and like making memories, not what they have or
Right,
what they're gifted. Nobody's gonna remember that. It's like,
dude, and
I
you're
don't
gonna
know.
learn that. You're gonna learn that later on in life when you're like 30 and you get like a blender for Christmas, and you're like, dude, I'm 30 years old. I'm past all that like making like, I mean, obviously making like memories, but not like the same way a kid does where it's like got to be doing something every day. I'm like, this blender is going to be dope. But like what if you've had that your whole life? Like you're just, I feel like everything you get up until that, where you're just like, here's an iPad, here's a video game, here's like a, it doesn't even have to be that, just literally anything to like not have them be in your ear or like have attention at all times.
Yeah. But it's different because parents think that they need to like distract their kids or like entertain their kids while they get stuff done, when that's not the case. Your kids do things with you. You know what
Right.
I mean? And
Right.
kids don't see chores as work, they see chores as play. If I'm making dinner for the family, kids are going to be helping, right? Like, I'm going to help you. All right, we're making we're having zucchini on the grill tonight. We need to cut up this zucchini. I'm gonna give them a zucchini and like, a child safe knife that they can use to cut and help and be a part of it. You know what I mean? And
Right.
like, dude, it's like that, and like that's how kids should be raised. Either, like doing stuff with their family or playing or both. You know what I mean? But you shouldn't be like, oh, I'm bored. Let me give him an iPad. It's like, okay, help me, do things around the house. It's gonna be fun for you. You're gonna enjoy it. Like, you're gonna help me.
You
It
have
it
no
might
worries other than
right. It
whatever
might
we're
not
doing
be
at the
like
moment anyway.
all help. Like, you know what I mean? Because they're gonna make a mess and stuff. Who cares, bro? Like,
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like also like parents are like people or just people in general are just like so busy that they don't have time for mistakes in the day. They don't have time for hiccups. You know what I mean? Like everything's on like such like a stern plan these days, especially with
Stern
kids. It's
tight
like,
schedule. Yeah.
yeah, like such a tight schedule, and it's just like not enough time
Things are gonna
for
happen, dude.
yeah, not enough time for mistakes to happen. Not enough time for like, you know, just hiccups along the way, and like, things to take longer than expected, and time to dwell. I want to start meditating more, and I want to get JT to meditate too.
Yeah, he's gonna
I think
meditate. Like, I hope I beat my dad in FIFA tonight,
probably. I
and
think
then
it'll
he's
be
gonna be
good
like,
for him. Just like really good to like channel like his emotions and understand his emotions and kind of control them, not let them get the best of him.
yeah, oh yeah, dude. And like for some people that comes naturally, and some people it just doesn't like at all. So
For
like
him, it
having
won't
that,
come naturally.
yeah, but like having that like kind of guidance into learning how to do that at a young age is probably super good for your mental health, like in the long run.
That's what I'm saying.
I wish, because dude, it's so weird when we were older and you heard the word, or when we were younger, like kids, and you heard the word meditate, like you automatically think of like some guy sitting on a
Buddha.
pillow, like doing this, like yeah, like
Yeah.
Buddha, and it's just like there's so much to that, and you're just not exposed to it as a kid.
No.
At least I wasn't.
No, me either. I didn't like seriously consider meditating until after college, or even like really
Yeah,
like hear about it. Like it's become more mainstream. I feel like
right. Yeah, and I feel like meditate, like if I just learned how to meditate and just like turn my brain off when I was younger, I would be a lot better at it now. And I definitely like the other night I woke up and I told Maggie, it was probably because I was playing, dude. Diablo 4 has me by the neck right now, but I was playing Diablo and I came to bed at like 11:30, which is pretty early. Like if I'm in bed by 11:30, for me that's pretty good.
yeah,
I've been trying to go to bed a little bit earlier, but there was just something, dude. Like I had the TV on, which usually helps me fall asleep, but I got to a point where I was just like, all right, I got to turn the TV off and like force myself to fall asleep. Like 2 o'clock rolled around and I'm still just like staring at the wall because my mind is racing. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna hate myself in the morning and like I have to be up in a few
yeah,
hours. And I eventually fell asleep, but I was just like I called it. I was like, I didn't have a great morning because I was so tired. And I was just like, dude, I just wish that I could just fall asleep at a certain time every night, like and be consistent about it. Like my sleep
yeah.
schedule is so like I'm in bed at the same time every night, but I never fall asleep. Like Maggie's wild; she falls asleep in 15 seconds, and I'm like, dude, you don't know how jealous I am of that. I just can't do it. And I feel like meditating at a young age would have helped me learn how to do that like better.
I think the thing with meditating is like so it like helps you control your thoughts and control your mind, right? Because like when you meditate, it's like, okay, you have all these thoughts that are come into your mind, and then you redirect your focus onto that whatever that one thing is, right?
Right.
So for me, it's either like breathing or a fan. It's one of those two things. Like if I'm laying in a room that has a fan on and I can hear it, I like to do that because I can think about like, the sound that the fan makes, like the coldness that it makes me feel, the breeze like that it makes me feel. I can feel it like, on my skin and stuff like that. Or but if there's no fan, then I just focus on my breathing, and I think about like, the rising and lowering of my chest and my stomach, and I try to make sure that like I'm breathing into my stomach and not just my chest. That might not make sense, but if
No, it
you
makes a lot of sense because
I
it's
was gonna
like
say,
those.
if you sit there and breathe, you can like think about breathing into your stomach versus like your chest and like feel the way it expands. I meditated once. There was like a guided meditation where this person was like, breathe like into your right foot, breathe into your right knee, and like went like to
Dude,
like all
why
these
does that
different
make
body
so
parts.
much
It makes
sense?
sense, and you can like feel it. Like all you have to do is like think about it, like in your mind, just think about like when you breathe, like moving that energy like into your foot, and like dude, it works. It makes sense.
That's crazy.
There was
Like
one
down to
time
the finger, dude.
I don't think it worked, but we were laying in bed and Lex was like not tired and maybe she was like upset or something, but it was time for bed, right? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna send her like a calming, sleepy energy, and like I just like put my hand across, like she didn't know I was doing this. Put my hand across her, so like my hand was like touching like her chest or her shoulder, and just like was like breathing deeply with my eyes closed, like just like thinking about like harnessing like a sleeping like calm like a calming like sleepful energy to just like transfer to her. I don't think it worked, but I tried.
Dude, that's like what Mantis does in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Kenny's over here like, all right, I just have to check. But low key, low key, that makes a lot of sense though, dude. And I feel like I feel like it's so weird because there's like a level of person that like has not even, this is gonna sound so mean, but has like the brain power or just like the intellect to be able to like be open minded to tap into that and be like, all right, like let me really think about it. And then there's people that
Right.
just like hear that idea and they're like,
And
nope,
you're like, yo,
sounds
that's fucking
stupid.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
that's the
you're
most
crazy.
ridiculous
That's
thing you've ever said.
witchcraft, dude. But like
Yeah.
if you really believe it and you try and think about it, dude, like I've been in those situations where I'm like, all right, let me just like I'm down to try anything, like if it's for my like better
Right.
mental health or just like health in general.
And
So like I don't see why you wouldn't.
so to go back to my point when I said like it helps me kind of like control my thoughts. So I think it's good because it can help you live a better life, right? Like when bad things happen, you can control your thoughts to not focus on them. If so, negative emotions will or negative thoughts, those if you don't like focus on them, they'll pass within 90 seconds, right? But if you hang on to that and you think about it, then it builds and it just kind of eats you up, right?
And it
So
gets
like
bigger.
right, exactly. So recently, like I didn't get promoted to manager, right? And if I would have just been like, all right, whatever, it is what it is, keep it moving, it's gone. I wouldn't have cared, would never thought about it. But I
And you're
didn't
still
do
doing
that,
exactly what you're doing now,
and I
dude. Like
thought
there's
about it. I didn't think about it all the time, but like it would come up now and again, and like I would think about why didn't I get promoted, and I would think about all this stuff, and I'd make up all these different scenarios, like maybe it was this, maybe it was that, maybe it was this other thing, like I thought I did so well, like what didn't I do? Like I did everything I could. What didn't I do to get promoted? And it's like it just builds frustration and a little bit of anger and like just makes me not like I'm obviously not enjoying my life when I'm doing that. So, but on the other hand, I could have just been like, whatever, dude, it is what it is. We're gonna keep it moving. And you can't do that with everything. Like some stuff is like
right.
really hurtful, like really painful, or like really sad, and like you need time to kind of like feel those emotions, and that's okay. But like at the same time, you should be able to kind of like focus your thoughts on like, or at least recognize like what you're doing mentally, and being like, okay, maybe this isn't best for my mental health, right? Like for me
Right. You
with
don't
the
want to be
promotion,
oblivious to everything, dude.
no, and you don't want to just have thoughts. Like you want to
Right.
know the thoughts that you're having. You don't want to just like be blindly having these thoughts and then like maybe thinking that those thoughts are who you are because they're not. So you need to be able to like be like, okay, like I had this thought, but like those thoughts don't define me. And that's
Right.
my brain is crazy. But one thing that I like about it is it always tells me like, okay, but look at this other side. Like look at this other point. And that always reminds me that I'm not my thoughts. You know what I mean? So like, and I'll
Exactly.
say that to Lex. I'll be like, hey, I had this thought. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm saying it's a possibility. So I'm gonna preface with that. Like I'm gonna tell you something, and I don't think that this is like 100. Like, this isn't how I feel. This is just a thought
Right.
that I had, and I'm gonna like that makes sense to me. But I need you to understand that as well, because when I say this, I don't want you to attack me because it's not how I feel. It's not like I don't have any, you know, like strong feelings towards it. Like I'm not connected to this thought and thinking like this is like the opinion that I want to put my flag in on this topic. You know what I mean? This is just
Right.
a opinion that somebody might have, like a random thought, basically.
And some people have thoughts and immediately attach themselves to it and that's how they feel. That like that's the big difference in like again going back to meditation. I feel like meditating helps you break that like kind of all right, I
Right?
had this thought, let
Because
me
you can
think about it and analyze it and then like you know what I
or
mean? Like
not,
detach
right?
yourself. You're right, right, right.
Because like if you have a thought and you're like, okay, like I'm gonna stop having that thought, I'm gonna go back to my other thought, then it's like, "Oh, okay. I just had that thought and then I didn't let it consume me and now it went away and I'm not having that thought anymore." And it kind of just like I think it like builds mental confidence more than anything else. Like it you build the ability and the confidence to like control your thoughts more and like
Right.
redirect your thoughts when you need to.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it, dude. Like mental just confidence.
Yeah.
Like going into like situations even when you wouldn't feel like comfortable, like even having like a tough talk with someone like a family member or something like that, like you have the ability to sit like just kind of sit down in your head and like be like, all right, what like am I connected to like feeling wise and what are
Yeah.
just thoughts that I had in general that I'm not like, like there's still thoughts, but like it's not something that I'm like you said, like connected to or attached to.
It's tough because not a lot of people are like that. So when I
That's what I'm
have
saying.
conversations with people, it's tough. And so a lot of people, if you have a conversation with somebody and you don't see eye to eye, a lot of people the ego comes into play and they get really defensive and that's like a natural response.
Right.
Um and I think it's hard sometimes to have conversations when people are like that because it's like they're not necessarily like they're kind of like stuck to their opinion, right? So they're what they're saying isn't they're not open minded, right? They're not like, you know what, this other person, this other opinion might be right. They're just like, nope, like I'm right. I needed to defend my opinion. I need to be steadfast in that. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then it's just like, okay, like we're not getting anywhere on this conversation.
Yeah, because you can't get past the ego, dude. That's like the whole like theory of ego death is so fascinating to me because you can almost see it in people when it's like,
Yeah,
all right, that person, like the way that they communicated with me and talked to me, I can tell that they have just like that disconnect between their ego and they're like genuinely a good person, not just reacting off of what their ego tells them to do. And then there's
right.
other people where it's like they have that ego and it's just like you said, like, all right, conversations with this person won't go anywhere. Like they're just gonna stand
Ego
their
is
ground and defend
good
it.
for the
To an
capitalist
extent,
world.
dude. That too, yeah.
Right? Like it's good for advancing in, you know, a job or something like that, right? Or,
Right.
you know, creating your own business and going and getting sales and whatever you need to do. It's ego is it serves its purpose. But like when it comes to arguing, ego for and not just when it comes to arguing. Honestly, I'd say like 95% of the time, ego just gets in the way. And we're this is gonna kind of blend into another topic that I've been wanting to talk about on the podcast, which is like your ego will like keep you from being vulnerable, right? It's gonna keep all your shields up. But vulnerability, that's like the best way to connect with people is being vulnerable. Like
Yeah.
if you know, if you open up to somebody and like you kind of share some of your fears with them or your insecurities with them, like you're usually going to get a positive response out of that and you're going to be able to like, you
Or
know,
sympathy, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
a lot
you're
of
going to be
people
able to
sympathize.
sympathize with them and it will generally lead to other people opening up about their vulnerabilities. You know what I
Right.
mean? Where they think, you know, and even if it's like a work setting, right? If you're vulnerable and you're like, hey, you know, like instead of being somebody that always says yes at work and you're like, you know, honestly, like I have, you know, my personal commitments, I have a lot of work stuff going on. I don't know if I can really take on more like that's being vulnerable, right? When society will tell you just to say yes
Just
and
keep
keep
sludging
working
on.
and work
Right.
longer, keep grinding, you know, take on more, but being able to like be vulnerable and be like, no, like that's actually probably too much for me to handle at this point. Like that's you know, there's nothing wrong with that and it's good because it encourages other people to do that.
And
It encourages
honesty,
other
dude,
people
like,
to not just like be like,
put
all
shit
right, yeah, I'll
down and
just be a
keep
slave
chugging
to this
on.
shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude. And I feel like the more I don't even know, like, the point you made about how, like, ego is kinda just, like, capitalist and, like, it's all about like your image and how you build yourself and stuff like that, which is so true. And I was gonna say like social media is like the worst thing for that because it just like intensifies it by like 1,000. Because
Yeah.
it's like, all
When
right,
you're
now
doing
I
good on
have
social media, it intensifies the ego.
right, dude. Like you find somebody that has like millions of followers, or not even millions, just like I got like 400K on Instagram. Like there's some sort of like intimidation factor that comes with that when you try and like talk to them because you know they think like oh, I have more eyes on me, like more people are watching me, I'm more important. Like that's just how it goes. And
Yeah.
that's like the biggest danger of social media is like everyone's seeing that 24/7, and a lot of like the younger generations are being influenced by that, which is not going to breed well like for the future.
No, it's bad, dude.
It all comes
What
down to just ego, dude. It's crazy.
what social media has done to the generations and like the way people behave is crazy.
Really has, dude. Like I always wondered what the internet would be like if it just like continued on, but there was never any social media.
No social media on the internet, and it was just like a place to search for
Find facts.
information.
Right. Like no entertainment side of the internet, just like strictly like a dictionary in your pocket, basically.
Yeah. No screw tube.
No screw tube. You still could play video games. It'd just be like the Xbox 360, like Xbox One. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no real social media on that, so you're still getting like entertainment technology wise, but like social media is just. And I get the whole like sense of community thing. Like I think that's a great idea, but like can't expect everybody to have the same perspective or like even just like
Follow the same
idea.
rules.
Right, right, of how to use social media. You know what I mean? Like,
And there's so many, rude people out there who are gonna go on social media and like literally just say rude things. Even if
right,
they don't mean them, they're like, whatever, I'm just gonna be rude to everybody and just shit on people today.
yeah, it's
Comments
it's
are
pretty.
gross. So I'll send Lex like a post or something sometimes, and she'll be like, "LOL, did you see the comments?" And I'll be like, "No,
Oh,
I don't.
dude.
I don't look at
Sometimes
comments on
though,
social media."
if it's something funny like on TikTok, is probably I spend my most like my comment section time TikTok and then probably Twitter. I don't really look at Instagram comments, but
Yeah,
TikTok comments, dude, is like sometimes it's a whole nother like better
well,
than the
it is
video.
when it's like a comedic
Like
post,
yeah, when it's funny, when it's like a meme or something. But I'm
when
not
it's
looking
like
at the comments of like
a TED talk,
yeah
like a
or
TED talk
any
clip, because
literally
there's
like
gonna
anything
like
else.
anything where it's like somebody having an opinion on a way of like living your life, right? Because so
Right.
many people are gonna have differing opinions, and they're not going to give you those differing opinions kindly. They're going to shit on you, shit on your ideas, and then like tell you, essentially why you're wrong and
Why
why
you're
they're
wrong.
right.
Right.
And it's like, nah, I'm good.
Oh, the only time I get into that shit is on baseball Twitter, dude. Like I'll get into some battles on Twitter, like when it comes to baseball and defending the Yankees, but that's like I don't get on there and do like like my personal shit. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
And a lot of people do, which is
I know.
terrifying. Do you
You know
remember
who I
like
see commenting on Twitter all the time on the craziest shit?
Waldo?
No, John Ward.
Oh yeah, dude, on like football Twitter.
And everything, like companies Twitter, like random famous people, like I just see like him in the comments, like just like shitting on him, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude?
His little like, was he have like a duck profile picture or something? And it's just
Yeah, it's
his
some
Twitter.
kind of cartoon thing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's so funny. I did get into a Twitter beef with Zach Wilson's mom that one time,
That's fine.
and definitely when I was like 13 or 14, like I would have fun back and forth with like, but it was never like it wasn't anything like some of the people say now, dude. Jesus Christ.
No, no. Um.
What else? Oh, dude, let me tell you about this venue we were at this weekend.
Okay.
It was like literally if you took South Front, like my community, and made a music venue out of it in the middle of Charlotte, like downtown Charlotte. It was sick,
All
dude.
right. Not
Like
bad.
just we were just in like this brick bowl. We got lawn
Brick
seats, but it
bowl.
was like not a huge venue, so like it was perfect like line of sight. It was dope, dude. The show was dope. Juicy J did the song with Katy Perry, um,
I like
and
Juicy J.
Kanye.
I think I'd like to see
Yeah,
him.
dude, I forgot like seeing
He's
his
got a lot
set
of good
list.
songs, and like a lot of them are
Yeah,
funny.
the only thing that I hated about his performance was he would bleep out a lot of the songs. Not even bleep, just like it would go silent, so like he would hear the crowd singing along to them. But
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he was
yeah.
opening at like 7 o'clock, so
So the
it
crowd
wasn't
wasn't
like
really
a
like
packed full.
raucous.
Yeah, and it was just like listening to like his music, but like in an old fashioned CD where if you moved it too fast, it would skip.
Yeah,
And I was like, all
that's
right,
funny.
dude, that's kind of annoying. But like, and then Logic came on and like he did one song that was a freestyle. Like, he literally just freestyled for like 5 minutes straight. And Maggie like looks over at me. She goes, "I don't think I know this one." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a freestyle." And she's like, "Oh, he's like rapping." I was like, "Yeah, this ain't no Juicy J where he's like
Yeah,
talking
just
over
playing
a
his
soundtrack." Like,
studio songs.
yeah, I was like, "My man is rapping his entire discography right now. Like, this is a show. Like, he's putting on an actual hip hop show. This
Yeah,
isn't just to like get hype. Like, that's what Juicy J was for. Is like get the crowd hype." Then his DJ came out and Logic literally it was like watching a movie, dude. Like changing sets and changing clothes and all that. It was dope.
that's a good time. I'm glad it was good.
Yeah, it was Andy's birthday Sunday, so we went out, got there at like 2 o'clock, and he met his boys at some lake house for a few hours, and then we went over to Maggie's old roommate's brother's house, who lives in Charlotte, and pregame there for a bit, and then went out afterwards. And I didn't see much of the city, but it was pretty fun. Like I would do it again.
Yeah, Charlotte's not bad. I've only been there a couple times. I haven't seen too much of it either, but I'd like to go and kind of spend the weekend
Just
hopping
bouncing
around to
around.
some
Yeah,
places. Yeah. Um, I got one random story. The other day, so I didn't smoke Wednesday. We went to the hospital. Didn't smoke Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm I think so. I guess it was Sunday or Monday. I asked Lex if it was cool if I smoked, cause like I mean, not that I necessarily like need her permission because I'm a grown man, but at the same time, like we just had a kid and stuff, so I didn't want
right.
to. I don't want to just be like this high guy and she like thinks that I'm not responsible. Like we had just fed the baby, like knew he was gonna be knocked for a few hours. We were just chilling on the couch and I was like, hey, like is it cool if I smoke? Like, is that cool with you? And she's like, yeah. She was like, wait, you're not gonna hit the Jeep, right? And I was like, no. I was like, if I hit that thing, I will be done. I'll be down for the count, homie.
Yeah, dude, the Jeep takes lives, especially after
Yeah,
like, not smoking for
not
a few
smoking for a
days
hot
after.
minute. Yeah,
Right, yeah, dude, that's not how I want that's not my experience I'm going for.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh, but then I ended up getting myself a new bowl so I could hit my bong again, which was nice. I think I was scared that I was gonna be a bad dad if I smoked weed, and that's why I didn't want to buy a new bowl.
right.
But then I was like, I don't think it matters if I smoke weed and I'm a dad. I think I'm gonna be a kick-ass dad
I
regardless.
think
So
right, I was gonna say, I think you're just gonna be the same person you are now, which is somebody who would be a kick-ass dad, like
yeah, it's tough though because like I'm definitely a lot quieter when I smoke, and like you're supposed to talk a lot to babies so like they can get used to words. So like when I'm changing him and stuff, like I have to like much more consciously like make sure that I'm like talking to
giving him some baby
him and
talk.
like saying stuff, just like just saying hi and
Did you and Lex have, like, a, book that you read on, like, parenthood, like, during while she was pregnant, or do you just kinda,
nah,
like,
we're just
do a
winging
little
it.
research and wing it?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
winging it mostly.
I always like that was one of my thoughts, like, before I became a parent, I'd be like, "Dude, I would be so anxious about, like, do I know enough about what I need to do with a newborn child?" Because I mean, once they get to, like, 4 or 5, I feel like it gets easier as they get older, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But,
no,
like,
you just kind of figure it out, right? Like I literally just like watched the nurse change his diaper a couple times, and then eventually I was like, that looks
I've
easy
tied a
enough.
boat before, I can wrap up a baby in a
Yeah,
diaper.
like I could do this, right? Like, and
Yeah,
you just kind of get better at it as you go. She did get me a book. It's called like something about like being a playbook for dads, written by the greatest coaches of all time. And I
written
haven't
by the
really looked
fantasy
at it yet.
footballers.
I haven't really looked at it yet, so it's supposed to be like I guess like a bunch of coaches like give their advice on parenting and stuff like that and being a parent. So like I'm excited to read that, but I mean we haven't read anything. We're just winging it, right? Like
Right,
if we have questions as we go, we'll hit up our parents, hit up our doctors, get their opinions and
right.
just
I
roll
was
with
gonna
it.
say 90% of parenting, I feel like, is just like your core values and like raising them right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But like, I feel like when you have a newborn, there's like scientific shit you got to know, and I was like,
correct.
that's where I'm slacking.
And especially like since Lex had a C-section now, there's so many other things that I have to do because like she's not allowed to do housework and like I don't want her to.
Right,
Um, like I want her to literally do nothing and just let her body recover so that she doesn't have to prolong her recovery by doing too much. So
right,
it's a little tough because like there's a lot more that I have to do now than before. Like and especially with laundry, like I was always bad at laundry. Now like but
Yeah.
now I have to do it, and I have to remember to put it in the dryer because like I'll put it in the washer and forget about it. And I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta
Dude,
dry that stuff.
I do that shit like not super often, but a few times where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do some laundry. I'll throw a thing in, and then I'll go back up to work because I'll do it on my lunch break, and then
Right,
like the next morning we'll roll around. I was like, fuck, dude, now I gotta like I'm open the
wash
washer. I
it
was like, is there
again.
anything in here? It's like you get hit with like the smell, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, yeah. And now it's like we have his stuff too, so it's like I have to make sure I'm doing loads for us and loads for the baby. Not necessarily because like he's running out of clothes and like he has too much dirty clothes, but like we only have a couple covers for his changing table, so when he pees on it twice a day when I change him,
Right.
like
When
we
that over is getting smashed.
right, we gotta get it all that stuff washed. Um, so I mean that's kind of tough, and just like there's just always something to do. I feel it feels like
Yeah. It was uh it was funny when you texted me earlier and I was like, "Yo, 5:30," and you said you might take a nap. I was like, "Damn, bro, this is like the first time I think Kenny and I ever been in swap positions. I'm usually the one snoozed before we hop on
I'm like an
randomly,
anti-nap kind of guy. Like I
and I am
always have
not.
been.
I'm very much not.
Always have been. I don't like naps because I know they're not gonna help me sleep at night. But I was like, dude, I'm beat. We had a doctor's appointment today, and like I was so tired on the way there, especially because like you're in the car, the AC's on, like
Right.
chilling, and then we get there, and like Lex is in the same boat, dude. She's just as tired as I am. Like we're beat, and we get there, and everyone is like, "Oh my god, like the baby, blah blah blah." They just trying to like small talk, and we're just like, "Dude, we couldn't care less."
Right. I'm just
Like we
trying to
don't
get
know
back
any of you
home.
guys.
Yeah.
Like when our family has been down a lot, and like we spending a lot of time with family over the past week. But that's different because I like them,
Right, and you're gonna be around them. You're never gonna see those people in the hospital or
right?
the
Like I
doctor's
don't like,
office
dude,
again.
the people like the nurses at this doctor's office. I'm like, I don't know any of you. I don't care about you. I'm not really too interested. Like you're literally just here so that
To make
like,
money.
or and we're only here to make sure that like her recovery is going well and like she's kind of like on her way, you know what I mean?
Right.
And like to figure out like, what to do to make sure the rest of the recovery goes well. We're not here for the small talk. We're not here for you guys to bond with our child. Like it's not the same.
My child's not gonna remember you, like
No. No.
yeah, and it's like your point earlier, it's different when it's like your family and friends too, because those are people that are there because they want to be there, and it's not like, oh, I'm paid to be here from 8 to 5 every day. Don't get me wrong, like obviously, if you're a nurse and you're going into nursing, like you have the best intentions, but
Yeah.
and it's obviously something you
At,
love doing, but
at the end of the day, you're still getting paid.
right, right,
And at the end of the day, that's the thing with like jobs is like it's never as good as you think it's going to be, and there's always a lot more BS that goes along with it.
yeah, and it's because
Every
everyone is
time.
there for the same motive, dude. They're there because they know they're getting that paycheck. It's not because
But
like
even like people that have good intentions, right? Like I think about Cassandra as a teacher, and she loves teaching. She's always wanted to be a teacher. Like she loves like kids and stuff like that. Like teaching is like her calling.
right,
But just all like the political and like bureaucratical BS that she has to put up with that like isn't teaching. It's all like the behind the scenes stuff that's not teaching.
right,
Makes it terrible.
yeah, that's
Makes her not
exactly,
want to even be a teacher. You know what I mean? Like she
dude.
got her
Yeah,
master's so she can go and like go into administration and stuff like that. And she passed like, this principal's test so she can maybe be a principal or something like because she doesn't enjoy teaching because of all the added stuff when that's literally like her like entire life's calling and what she's always wanted to do.
dude, and 90% of that extra stuff is like super unnecessary.
And like it's just most of it is like a power or like authority thing, you know what I mean? Like it's
Right,
like because your bosses who are so disconnected from your actual job and like from actually teaching like because they set these new guidelines and now you have to follow them when they don't even teach and they don't know like what it's like or what's going on, you know what I mean?
right. It's it's
Craziness.
it's literally like almost going to war every day as a teacher, dude, but in like a psychological way. And it's
Yeah.
like you still have to show up and like almost put on a show even if you're having like a shitty day. It's not like you can be in a shitty mood around the kids, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's wild. It's the
Unless
wild
your kids
wild
are cool,
west.
then you can be like, "Hey, I'm having a bad day. You guys want to just like I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
even then,
Don't do
that's like
anything.
one of your 9 classes you have. Like, what are the chances all of your kids love you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
You're always gonna have the students in school that like have behavioral issues or whatever, and it's has nothing to do with the way you're teaching. It's just the way that like they were raised, and you pretty much have no control
And the
over.
way that like society just is.
Right? It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. Crazy world out there. Navigating it with a kid is gonna be tough, but we'll figure it out. It can't be that bad.
Yeah, he's
No,
gonna
it
be
could be.
vibing, dude.
Yeah, he's gonna be vibing.
No matter what.
In the NFL, OTAs are back. Stephon Diggs was not at day one of Bills camp, but he was there today. Made a bunch of noise in the news yesterday that he
For not
wasn't
being
there.
there.
Yeah, it's the first day of OTAs. I guess he just didn't feel like showing up. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, it's
Um,
literally June. Relax.
yeah. But D Hop, he's making his rounds. First stop, Tennessee. A very positive visit with Tennessee, where he's gonna go sign. Traylon Burks becomes the 2. He kind of withers
For
away.
what, a
There goes
year?
no, probably like 3 or 4.
Isn't D Hop like 32, 33?
I don't know. He's the same age as Devonte Adams. I think both of them have a few like 2 to 3 good years in them, and then they'll probably stay longer than that.
I think Devontae has more, probably more of his like. I mean, I don't know. His prime year was last year or 2 years ago. Probably his last year with Rodgers, but I feel like he's got more time in his bucket than Hopkins does.
I don't know,
That's
dude. D
crazy.
Hop's
They're the
really
same
good.
age, though. I feel
D
like I
Hop
look
just
at D
like
Hop as such an older player than Devontae Adams.
yeah, he got big earlier than Adams did.
Yeah,
But I mean, he's still so good. Like I was watching clips and stuff from his days in Arizona, so good, and like from last year, but like slept on because he only played 6 games, and then Kyler got hurt. You know what I mean?
right.
But when him and Kyler were on the field together, dude, he was so good.
Yeah, it'll be
He's
interesting to see where
still
he
a dominant
lands.
wide receiver one.
He can make. He's one of the guys that can make like any bad quarterback look decent.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't really
he's
matter who his quarterback is.
he's on his way or he's already in New England. And I guess he's gonna be there for a couple days, like a 2-day visit with them. They better not let him leave.
Yeah, they need wide receiver help bad, dude.
Their top wide receiver right now is Juju.
Yeah, that's not good. When he
They
was
got
the
Juju,
like 3
Devontae
or 4
Parker,
on
Kendrick
Chiefs.
Bourne.
That's it. That Devontae Parker was like their big signing, what, 2 years ago?
I think that
And I
was
mean,
last year.
last year even, dude. I mean, we were probably all sitting here last year like, all right, that could be a good signing, like because he had a few
And
good
dude,
years in
look at the
Miami. But
division. You have
yeah,
Miami with Tua, Tyreek, and Jalen Waddle and a good defense. You have the Jets with Rodgers and Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson, and they have a good support. Like their other receivers are also good. One of the best defenses in the league. And then you have Buffalo, who's a Super Bowl contender with Allen and Diggs and Kincaid and Dawson Knox and a really
yeah,
good defense. Like you're not going to beat them with Mac Jones and Juju and Devontae Parker and
right. And
Ramondre
it's
Stevenson.
because Tom Brady
And
did that, but
but
it's
they
also
have
at
a
the same
solid
time.
defense.
Yeah, I mean Pat's D is always good, but
Yeah.
like I was saying, like Tom Brady was the guy, like the GOAT, obviously, and took guys like Wes Welker and them like 2 Super Bowls, and Bill Belichick's like, oh, it was me, but it was no, it was all Brady, dude. Like that
Yep.
system's not gonna work with Mac Jones.
No. As bad as you want it to, it's just not.
And we haven't even like I feel like we haven't gotten the opportunity to see Mac Jones like at his best because of that. Like he hasn't had like a solid receiver yet in his career. You get him D Hop, dude. Who knows? Like maybe that opens up so much more for your wide receiver twos and your tight ends. You know what I mean? Like your passing game
Yeah,
opens up
maybe,
so
but you
much
also
when you
need.
have
I think they need a little bit of O line help
that too. Yeah, that's the
because
other
he's
part of
under
it.
pressure a lot. It feels like.
Yeah. Which and that's the thing, like I don't think he's I could be totally wrong, but every time I watch Mac Jones, it doesn't look like he's a terrible like Carson Wentz the past few years under pressure, like he throws it up, you
It's
almost
bad.
know it's a pick, dude.
Yeah.
Mac Jones doesn't seem like that type of guy where he just is heaving the ball 85 yards up. Like I feel like he's a smarter throw the ball out if it's not there, or, get out of bounds. Just like I feel like he's a better protector of the football.
Yep. Yep.
So
Um, in the NBA, the Nuggets won the finals, 4 games to 1.
you see
The,
Jokic is
they're
trying to go home already.
yeah, The refs did their best. Don't get me wrong. The refs tried to keep the Heat in it for at least the game 6, but it didn't work. I just felt like the whole game. I felt like I watched the whole game because I was up with JT. And it just felt like the whole game they were favoring the Heat, and then especially late there was Jimmy Butler pull up three from the corner, and Aaron Gordon like stopped before the 3-point line. Jimmy like his right leg like comes out, hits Aaron Gordon in the groin, and then Jimmy goes down. They call foul. Denver challenged it. They reviewed it, and like it's not a foul. Like Aaron Gordon like stopped at the 3-point line with his hand straight up, and like dude, like I would have rather seen the Heat win the finals and seen Jimmy get one, but like I'm gonna call it how I see it regardless. It
Right.
wasn't a foul. If anything, it should have been a foul on Jimmy for sticking his leg out and kicking him, essentially in the
In the nuts.
private area. That could have been a flagrant itself, and I think at a minimum it's no foul, and they're like nope foul, like 3 free throws, blah blah blah. But
Oh, dude,
Jimmy
they
had a bad
decided that
day.
before that foul even happened. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I heard he wasn't the last two games. I watched the like third quarter of the finals, and then I think the Yankees game came on, and I pulled that up or something. I forget what I was doing. I might have been playing Xbox, but it was pretty close. And then I like went to go turn the game back on, and I got like as soon as I did that, I got a notification saying Denver won, and I was like, oh well,
yeah,
kind of saw that coming.
yeah. So let's see. 89-94 was the final. Oh man, give me a box score.
Didn't he have like 8 points in the last game or some shit like that?
He had 8 early on, and then he got hot. Uh, box score. Okay. What did he finish with? He finished with 21.
That's not like crazy bad.
No, but I think he had like 8 through 3, and then got hot in the fourth.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. Um, I mean, that's when you want to be hot, especially in a close game. And that's kind of,
Right.
I feel like Ben Jimmy's thing the whole postseason was like he's been okay 1 through 3, and then just had good force and like was closing games really well and getting like extra aggressive late. Um, but yeah, dude, Jokic showed out these playoffs. He was balling, dude. He probably averaged a triple double, close to it. Well, I don't know. He actually only had 4 assists in Game 5, but he looked dominant, bro. First player ever to lead the entire playoffs in points, assists, and rebounds. Wins
Damn.
the Finals MVP, and then yeah, he was like he nobody had looked like they cared less about winning a championship than Jokic.
Than him. I know, dude. It was kind of crazy, like
Game
almost weird
ended.
to
He
see.
didn't put his hands up and like celebrate. He wasn't excited. He just like started like shaking hands of people, and then they're in the locker room, and he's just like literally with a stone cold face, like just like all right, I guess I'll spray this champagne up over here, a little bit over there, and then he's at the podium, and he's like, oh, "There's a parade." He's like, "When's the parade?" And they're like, "It's Thursday." He's like, "No, I gotta go home, man. I gotta go home."
I don't blame him though, dude. He's probably just like
No, he's been
ready
playing
to go,
basketball
tired as
since
fuck. Like,
September, October. Like he's like I just want to go home and hang out with my horses. He probably never wants to win another ring again.
right? He's like,
He's
I've
like, can we
completed
get
this
kicked
quest.
first round of the playoffs from now on?
My
I
man
got
doesn't even
horses
want to
to
play
tend to.
NBA anymore. He's like, all right, I've
Yeah,
done that.
I'm just here for a paycheck. All right, thank you for. Even though the more games that you play in the playoffs, the more you're gonna get paid.
Yeah. He was like, all right, well, there's nothing else to play for. I just want to go home.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, he's like the most dominant player in the NBA for like the last 3 years.
yeah. It makes the MVPs over the last 3 years worse because last year Embiid should have won MVP and not
Yeah.
Joker. And probably this year vice versa. Like I think Jokic had a better season this year, but they didn't want to give it to him 3 times in a row. But they give it to Embiid, and then Embiid becomes like a laughing stock because he had a poor playoffs, and Jokic was dominating, and he was the number 2 in the MVP voting.
That's
And
exactly
they
what
and they're
happened to
like
Judge, dude.
oh yeah, this is like a like it's like a charity MVP for Embiid, but in reality, Embiid should have won it last year, and then Joker
Yeah.
should have won it this year. And if that happened, like nobody would be upset.
Yeah, and I remember us talking about that like on this podcast last year,
Yeah,
dude, like being just like shocked that Embiid didn't win MVP over Joker.
yeah, and like I've had my days of hating on Joker, but like I'm kind of over it. He's a stud. Um, I never really disliked him that bad. I just hated all like the analytical fans that were
Yeah,
like,
in the
Joker
media.
has Joker has better stupid made up stats. So yeah, I think we should give it to him.
If you add these 9 things together, you get this stat, and Joker's is higher. So
Yeah, by like 0.01.
yeah,
Um, I the thing I hate about the media, I was telling Lex's dad this is the people that have MVP votes are so like their opinions change so much in the last 2 weeks of the season. Like I'll watch
yeah,
sports talk shows and like during over the last 2 weeks of the NBA season, people that have MVP votes will be like, you know what? Embiid, he looked good last night. He looked dominant. There's nobody as good as him. He put up, 35, 15 rebounds and 6 assists. Had himself a good game. Like he's definitely MVP. He's been doing it all year, leading the league in scoring. And then it's like the next day, Embiid puts up only 25 and 8, but Joker puts up 35 and 12 rebounds and 11 assists. And they're like, this guy, he does it all. I'm giving it to him. And then Giannis has a good game, and then they're like, Giannis MVP. How could
this
what
guy.
do you look at?
Yeah,
He does it all. He handles on the perimeter. He does all this stuff. Blah, blah. How could you not give it to him? He's the most dominant in the game. Nobody means more to their team than Giannis. And then and Embiid has a good game, and they're all back on that bandwagon. And it's like it's a full regular season award. It's not who's the best in the last 2 weeks.
right,
You know what I mean?
right. People that
You got
use
to base it off the
analytics to
whole
like,
year.
yeah, dude, and dude, especially in baseball because it's such a long season. Like that's
Yeah,
what's happening with Volpe right now. Is like he has like a 189 batting average, but he also
people want
has
to
like
send them
9
down.
home runs. Yeah, they're like, oh, send him down, blah blah blah. I knew this was a bad decision, but like the people that are saying that are also the ones that were calling him up to play in the beginning of the year. So it's like,
Yeah,
dude, like as a Yankees fan, I knew Volpe was gonna have rookie struggles because how fucking often does it happen where somebody immediately comes into the league and is a stud their first year? Like maybe once a year, like for one player.
yeah.
Like it's
That
a
boy
long
from
season, dude.
Seattle.
We'll see where we're at. Yeah, right, right. Julio Rodriguez. Like we'll see where we're at after his rookie season and then go from there. Like,
Yeah. Ellie,
but you're right.
he's having a good rookie season.
I
Good
don't want to
rookie
talk about
month.
him right now.
Yeah, 'cause he ruined your lay.
Oh,
It's alright.
4 out of 5, dude. 4 out of 5, and it's like the one that I put in like once a month. I'm like, I'll see they're having a special on Zach Wheeler, like pitch count. I'll throw $20 on something, and then I got to like 4 picks. Ellie was my last one, and I was like, what's one more leg, dude? Like I'll almost like double my money that I would make, like, and you know what I
Right.
mean, like $20 on that to win 400. And I checked it when it was at 4 or 5, and Ellie was in the bottom of the seventh, and I was like, dude, you're gonna get one more at bat, please. Put it up on my phone. Went downstairs. I was like, Magoo, if this guy hits a single, I
Did
win
he
four
get
hundred
any
bucks.
hits?
I no, I think he went 0 for 3 with a walk. He
Damn.
might have had a double, which would really hurt, but
Yeah.
I literally had it up for like 2 pitches, dude. Ball outside, and then immediately hits into a double play, and I was just like, "Fuck, like, dude!" The one time, the one single time, like I'm even
Yep.
close.
In the NHL, the Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup, dude. They dominated Florida this series. They won nine
Yeah,
three, most goals ever in a clinching Stanley Cup game. Mark Stone had a hat trick. First time, I think anybody's or first player since 1922 with a hat trick in a Stanley Cup clinching game. They
damn,
were just a better team. They were dominant, dude. They took them 6 years to win a Stanley Cup.
that's wild. Weren't they in the Stanley Cup final like in their second year or something crazy
I
like
think it was
that?
like last year or the year before. It took them a couple years. It's when they went there, their owners were like, "We're gonna be in the playoffs in 3 years, and we're gonna win the Stanley Cup in six." And they were in the playoffs in 1 year, and they won the Stanley Cup in six.
Wow, that's crazy.
Talk about at least like meeting expectations
Right, I was gonna say, talk
on a
about getting
high
shit
bar
done.
too.
Yeah, very high bar. Dude, a rebuild in most sports leagues takes like 4 to 5 years. let
Yeah, but
alone
it's
just like
different when you're an expansion team because like they could right, so
you
they
get the
didn't have
draft and all that, right?
right, they didn't move there and then like they're not the A's where if they
Right,
move there,
right,
then they're gonna have to rebuild. They're an expansion team and they started with good players, so then they're able to trade players and stuff like that. So it's
right.
different than a rebuild, but I mean not bad. But hey, Manchester City,
Oh, but
UEFA Champions League champions.
I want a recap of the game because I didn't
Finally,
get to watch any of it.
finally. Um, Honestly, it was a good game. I want to say Inter actually was leading in possession a little bit at half. Um, it was pretty even. De Bruyne got hurt early, like maybe in the 30th minute they pulled him for Foden. I mean, he's been playing with a torn hamstring for 2 months, and he said it just snapped. So
Oh man,
kudos to him for playing the last 2 months on that. Um, Dude's a stud, but like I mean, Inter had their chances. Rodri's goal was really nice. Like it was similar to um the Gundo goal from the FA Cup final.
oh
That how
yeah,
like it was like in the 18, then it like bounced out and he ripped a volley. It was like same thing. The ball was like it was I think it was Kyle Walker played like a ball to Bernardo Silva, and when he got down to the touchline, he tried to play one across, but I think it got like deflected, so it came up to the 18. Or he could have cut it back, but I don't think that's what he meant to do. I think it was a deflection, and then Rodri just from like the top of the 18, like hits it with like the inside of his foot. He was maybe like 2 feet to the inside of the post, right, and just kind of like curled it ever so slightly around two defenders, and then
Oof.
buries it like just sneaks it inside the post, the near post. Um, it was he basically like hit it straight, but just like a little bit of bend to get it around those defenders. It was really nice.
right.
It was super clean, really well hit. Um, and
That
that
was in the
ended up
second
being
half.
yeah, that was early in the second half, and that ended up being the only goal of the game. Um, Inter had their chances, man, and Lukaku was fucking boning them down the end. Ederson came up big though. He had a few really big moments in like the final 15, 20 minutes. Um, and I mean, yeah, they got it
Now you
done.
got the treble,
They've been
dude.
celebrating. They got the treble, the 23rd team to win the Champions League, which I thought was kind of interesting. I thought that more teams would have won the Champions League. Like they're only the 23rd all time to win Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, out
Um,
of like the world pool that they have to pick from, that's pretty crazy.
right, right, and out of all time, like
Right.
kind of crazy. Um, Eighth team to win a treble. This is Pep's second treble. He won the sextuple with
Is he the
Barca
goat?
back in the 08-09 season. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably. But the argument against that is everywhere he went has been amazing.
Right.
He
But is
went
that
to
a
like
product of
he went
him
to
or is
peak
that?
Barca, he went to peak Bayern, he went to peak Man City
But is he the reason they're peak? Like he probably has a little bit
to
of.
an extent.
Yeah. He does always have like a crazy like Ancelotti and Jose Mourinho and all of them outside of like Sir Alex Ferguson, but they've all been with like lower tier teams where
Yeah.
and I'm sure I mean Pep I don't know where Pep started, but like he also has been like handed the keys to a McLaren a few times.
Yes. So I don't know. We'd have to see him. I think with a bit of a lesser squad. Let him come coach the U.S. men's team.
Could you imagine?
Now
All
we're
right, Pep.
talking.
Final,
Prove your
final,
worth.
fucking yeah. Final go in your career. Like, see what you can do with the U.S. men's team.
You've reached the boss. Now you need to defeat the boss. It's final level.
He would show up to the first practice and see the touch that our team has and be like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, he's like, actually, I don't think I can work with them.
Yeah. What am I coaching my kids' team?
International ball is tough, especially when you don't have similar play styles.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's the
always just
thing,
gonna
dude.
be harder to.
Americans are not only like so spread around the world, like on different clubs, but different leagues where like play styles are just so different.
And pace of
Uh,
play.
Yeah, and then you get together and you don't have much time to kind of understand how each other works and things like
Right.
that, and it's tough. But like, if you look at like a Spain. most of their players are playing in La Liga,
in
right?
Spain,
And a lot
right?
of them have like similar tactics and like similar like ideas to the way that football should be played.
Yeah, they're all just
So
like more on the same wavelength.
right, right. And it's just and the US men's team is not like that.
No, and you can see it when they play too.
Yeah. Union lose to San Jose Earthquakes 2-1, whatever. Judy Bellingham.
Ooh, 110 million, dude. Do you think
Yeah,
Dortmund could have gotten more for him? I was kind of
I don't know,
surprised that
dude.
it wasn't like,
They got so it was 103 million euros, which translates to 111 and change
yeah,
in USD. Good God Almighty! They signed him to a 6-year deal. That kid is 19 years old,
and he's already a stud, dude. It's
already a
crazy.
stud. He spent like 2 years on Dortmund,
Right.
two or three,
And he's
2 or 3 years.
already
Like 2 years at
100.
Dortmund. That's like 17 and 18.
Dude, yeah. That's wild. When you think of like some of their players that they've kicked out too, like I mean, who was the last one? Maybe Holland? How old is Holland? Like 22?
No, I think he's younger than that. I think he's like 20 or
Yeah,
21.
dude, they are just pumping out like world-class fucking
That's
soccer
what they do.
players, dude.
That's
It's
what they do.
crazy. It's wild. And they've been doing that for as long as I've been a soccer fan.
Forever,
Like
dude.
they've
They're such a
always, yeah,
farm team.
dude.
Such a farm
Yeah.
team.
Um,
Um, what else have I seen? Mbappe says he's not going to re-sign with PSG. So I actually saw today that they officially put him on the transfer market. Um,
really?
yeah, because if he doesn't
Neymar's the only
re-sign
one
after
left.
if he doesn't re-sign after this year, then it's like, oh, we're gonna let him go for
We're
free.
losing him.
No,
Right.
so they're
Yeah.
gonna try to sell him. So if they can do that, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to sell him in the winter window. Because they said that
Yeah.
they're going to try to convince him to stay. So maybe they put him on the market now. They kind of get some interest, see kind of what his price is, and maybe it turns into a bit of a bidding thing. You know what I mean? And they're like, okay, we're going to see how the first half of the season goes. Maybe we're doing well. Maybe we can convince him to try to stay over these next 6 months. If not, we'll sell him in January.
Yeah. I could see that happening. And I feel like Mbappe is kind of like at the point in his career where, you know, I mean, let's be real, dude. Ligue 1 is not very exciting. And it's like
No,
he probably got that rush of being like, I mean, he's won a World Cup before already, but like the rush of
yeah,
like having everybody's eyes on him, like in the World Cup. And he's like, damn, dude, like I could be, my legacy could be so much bigger if I went and had myself a career at like a Man United or a Real or like you know what I mean, like
yeah.
PSG is definitely like in the conversation of those big teams, but it's not the
But they've never
same. Like
won
it doesn't.
anything, dude. They get
Right,
like
dude.
they don't get like they don't have the prestige or the respect, and like they're like they're a city to me,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yep.
like City have won a bunch of Premier Leagues in recent history, right? But like, and they've been great, and they've been have had such great players, but they never got like quite the respect because they could never get over the Champions League hump. Right? They've done, they've been to they finally won it this year. They've been to finals, been to semis, but they were kind of like okay, whatever. Like you win your league and stuff like that, and like it's a much harder to win the Premier League than League One. But I
Right.
mean, they never got like quite the respect on the national stage, and neither does PSG. They get respect to say, oh yeah, like you guys are a formidable opponent and you can win on any given Sunday. But when push comes to shove, I'm never picking you to win it all.
Right. Right. It's exactly, dude. And I don't know if that just comes with more like history, like over time. Do they kind of just like maybe they'll like, all right, they'll win a Champions League and like they won't just be like a. I don't know. I kind of get the same feeling with PSG as like some of these Saudi teams where they just like throw money at the biggest name on the market and try and make it
Yeah,
work.
the Saudi league is a problem.
Yeah, dude. Like the whole Benzema thing hurts just because it's like I don't know what I would do in his position. Obviously, I don't know what it's like to live like a legacy as like a one of the greatest like strikers ever and
Yeah,
like have a career like that. And also, I don't know what it's like to be offered like that amount of
that much
money.
money.
So,
Dude, they
right.
offered Messi 1.6 billion over 3 years
Yeah, that's insane, dude. That is absolutely insane. And then imagine all of that on top of how much money he already has too,
from
like
endorsements and shit like that.
endorsements, yeah, everything, dude. Like that is
Crazy.
insane.
He
I
said
mean,
no
dude,
thanks, coming to the MLS.
yeah, that dude, I'm not gonna lie. I think I was talking to Carl about this the other day, and I was like, dude, always have like had the most respect for Messi, being like a huge Ronaldo fan, but I'm like low key jealous of the Messi fans now because like their guy did exactly what I wanted Ronaldo to do, where he didn't just like
Yeah.
take the money and like kind of disappear. Like, dude, I don't even see Ronaldo in like the news anymore, like in the football world. Like, oh, I'll see
Right,
like
right, right.
when big things happen where he like I don't know
Scores.
scores or like has a nice goal, but like Messi in the MLS is gonna do so much for football, dude, and he's gonna retire it and like push
And
the game
he's gonna
forward.
be talked about all the time.
He's gonna be talked about all the time, just like on a bigger stage. And Ronaldo's just like, yeah, he's making the fucking bag, but also he's like playing in a league that nobody cares about, and they
Dude,
don't like respect to the
the
extent as like even the MLS,
the tickets for his projected first game in Inter Miami were more than Miami Heat tickets in the NBA Finals.
as it should be, dude, because they've got the whole entire planet looking at him now.
That's
Like, you
so.
know what I mean?
I was talking to Dion about it because me Dion's come to a few Union games with me, and he follows a bit. Um, And he texted me, he was like, "Yo, Messi's coming to the MLS, like with the eyeballs." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, it's gonna be crazy." He's like, "Best believe when he comes to Philly, I'm gonna be there." And I was like, "We gotta try to get those tickets when they go on sale, like when tickets
Like as
drop, like
soon as they
next
go
year,
on sale,
like for
yeah.
next season, like as soon as tickets go on sale, like try to buy them directly from the Union because they'll be at whatever their face value is, and the aftermarket prices are gonna be
It's gonna
out
be
of control."
insane, dude. Yeah. Um, and dude, I was gonna say this like if you go to literally almost anywhere on the planet and ask some random citizen if they know the name Leo Messi, like probably 9.9 times out of 10 they're going to say yes. But if you go to like I don't know any other country and be like, "Yo, Jimmy Butler," and they're like, "I don't know who the fuck that is."
Yeah.
Like somebody could do that with like the best cricket player right now to me and I wouldn't know who that is, but Messi just has like everybody knows that name. It's like literally David
Cricket's
Beckham.
actually the biggest sport in the world.
Yeah, which is crazy cuz it's like I feel like
We
it's
don't
so
even
similar
do
to
it here.
baseball. I would enjoy it if I knew what I was watching and what was going on, but like I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
never even
But I
like
don't know
thought
any of
about
the
it.
rules, don't know any of the
No,
players or the teams.
nothing, dude.
Maybe you need to take a crash course.
It's funny because John Boy, that's what
Cricket
he does
crash
in the
course,
off
you know,
season,
this is
dude. So he,
CCC, Triple C.
yeah, cricket cash,
Easy for you
cricket
to say.
cash, dude. Cricket crash course.
Cricket cash, that's like for Cricket Mobile.
Yeah, it's like their digital currency.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We should
Yeah,
patent that.
I can use this at their app store.
Yeah, or whatever. Like,
It's like FIFA e-bucks, dude. Yeah, I got Cricket Cash.
what was with the Microsoft points on old Xbox? Remember those where you had to go
Yeah,
and buy the
yeah.
card?
Yeah, you couldn't just use dollars. You had to buy a card of Microsoft points and then use that to buy
Use that
things.
card. Yeah, it was such simple days, dude.
I know kids these days they'd never get it.
Did you see my snap
Um.
the other day about Game Pass after I bought Diablo, where it was like, "Congratulations, you've earned 10% of like
Oh yeah, yeah,
16
yeah,
cents or something like that, like
yeah.
towards an Xbox gift card." And I wanted to just be like, "Fuck you, dude! Why are you telling me?" Like, "Oh, congratulations, here's 6 cents." What? I don't give a
After you
shit.
spend $60.
Yeah, it's just yeah. Well, now the games on Xbox are like 69.99, so it's like, oh, sorry, I'm playing on like a
Oh
newer
yeah,
shit, so
yeah,
now I
because
gotta
you
pay
got
an
the
extra
new
$10.
console.
So I'm like, all right, and then they're like, they basically just said, here's 8 cents towards an Xbox gift card. Not even just like, here, well, we invested this 8 cents for you. I'd be like, all right, that
Congrats.
yeah,
One last rumor that I've seen: Harry Kane to Real Madrid.
I would hate that, dude.
Yeah,
I
that
would
feels like a
hate that.
waste
Give
of
me
money.
Mbappe, bro. Just if you're gonna go get somebody, give me Mbappe.
But
Dude, imagine Vinicius and Mbappe on the same team. Did you see he's got the number 7 now?
I did.
Love
I
that,
did see
dude.
that.
Big fan. I think he's the worthiest player since Cristiano to have that number 7. Because after
I think so
Ronaldo had
too.
it, it was I think
Vacant.
Mariano. Mariano had it. No, it was like right after Ronaldo left. Like so, they don't do shit like that with numbers in European soccer, which I find so interesting. Because like you're telling me the number 10 on Barca is just like gonna be like Mark Bartra now, like after fucking Messi leaves, dude.
Right.
Which I think that's just the biased Yankees fan in me, where it's like, all right, you deserve to have your number retired, and I mean that's a problem the Yankees are gonna run to in like 20 years from now. It's like, all right, bro, like
Well, numbers. in soccer are significant, right? It's
to their
like your number
positions.
7 means things, your number 9 is important, like number 10 is
Right.
important, right? But like so like, I get it from one point, like you want somebody to be wearing the number 10, right? But at the same time, it's like those are humongous shoes to fill, and you can't just pick the next guy to fill them.
Right. Yeah.
Like
And
you
a
got
lot of like
maybe okay, maybe it takes a year or two to find the guy who's worthy of filling those shoes,
yeah,
or at
you're gonna
least
hold your
somewhat.
number. Right, dude. And they did that like literally right after Ronaldo like left Real. They gave Mariano the number 7. I was like, oh, okay, that's gonna be weird. And then when Hazard came, he got it. And then look what happened to him. He had an atrocious Real Madrid career.
Yeah, he
And
did.
now I feel like it's back in the hands of somebody who's worthy, which is fun.
Who's wearing number 10 at Barca?
Right now, I couldn't even tell you, dude. I'm sure it's one of their younger kids, if anybody, like one of their young like prospects.
Yeah, I think Lua's wearing 9. Uh, let's see.
Neymar was what 11 when he was at Barca, or is he 11 now on PSG?
So Ansu Fati, he took the number 10.
Yeah, dude, that's
He
like
inherited it from Messi.
that's got to be a wild feeling. Like after Messi leaves Barca, and then you're just like handed the number 10.
So the best number 10s in Barca's history, or since '95: Messi, Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, Ansu, Giovanni. I don't know, Riquelme, Cuellar. I don't know these guys, but I mean Ronaldinho, Messi, and then Ansu. Like big shoes to
Ronaldinho,
fill.
Messi, and Zlatan, dude. When Barca had was like that team. Oh
I
my god.
know.
Yeah, it's always wild how soccer teams like I don't know. I guess it's just like a baseball traditionalist thing where because I feel like that happens the most in baseball, right? I mean, they do it in NBA and NFL too, but
Yeah,
maybe
I
it's just
feel
an
like
American sports thing.
maybe. I feel like yeah, Anzu still's got the 10.
Ansu Fati, that's a great name. I love that name.
Yeah. They got Ferran Torres, who they signed from City, wearing the 11, and Usman Dembele wears the 7, and Lua's in 9.
Usman. He was another Dortmund product, wasn't he?
I believe so.
What else we got
All
on
right,
this
let's get
doc?
out of here, dude. That's it.
That's it. We hit the finish
Finish
line.
finish up with some soccer, dude. Got to
All right.
yeah. I
Well, it's
tried
gonna
to
be
the last like 45 minutes I tried to get us on track with this doc.
yeah. We were chit and chatting away
Yeah,
for the first
just
like
straight
hour and 20
vibing.
minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. That's what we're
letting
all
things
about.
roll.
That was the message of today's episode. I feel like was vibes. It's all about the vibe.
Yeah, it's all about the
They call us
vibes.
the vibe guys for a reason.
Yeah, I guess. I thought we were the random roommates, but I guess we can change our name.
Well, well, we were the random roommates in OBX too, I guess, but we were also the vibe guys in
Oh yeah,
OBX.
the vibe guys. We were the vibe guys. I got shirts to prove it.
Mm-hmm. Physical proof. So if anybody tries to fact check this episode, just come straight to us.
Yeah, I got you on the shirt. I was part of the vibe guys tribe.
Vibe guys tribe.
All right, y'all get out of here. Have a great weekend. Say hi to your neighbor. Make them smile. And tell
Give them a
somebody
smooch.
that you love them. Don't forget.
Never forget. Hashtag.
Don't let this life pass you by without telling people that you love them. It's very important. And don't forget, we're all out here grinding, working and trying to make memories. Don't
Even
forget
if
to
it's
stop.
even if it's inanimate objects, dude. If you love that thing, just be like, yo, I
Yeah.
love you. I walk by
But
my
like,
Xbox. Yo,
but
you're good to me.
hey, while you're on this grind and on this journey, don't be too hard on yourself. And don't forget to stop and look around and think about how far you've come and be proud of yourself because this is where you've always wanted to be.
Listening to the
Doing what
random
you're doing.
roommates.
Amen. Y'all have a good weekend. Smooches. Oh boy.